Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Politi-tics on a Saturday night, and I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and joining me always is the amazing Banhammer Amanda.
Howdy, Untethered Live family.
How's it going out there in the cold, cold world? How's your cold, cold heart?
Cold, cold, cold.
It is a little snowy.
A lot of snowy.
My truck broke down, and I had to walk to the store in the snow today. And it was very cold. I got back, and then I had to get on my get gas and come back and put it in my motorcycle, and then get on my motorcycle and drive to town to go to the real store and back. And I nearly froze to death. But I did hear something very funny while I was there. The woman in the store asked me what the hell was wrong with me being on a motorcycle in the snow, and that was hilarious, explaining it to her. And then I got back and got in bed and got all cozy, and I stayed right there until podcast time. So I'm not dumb.
Well, you missed dinner. You forgot
I had dinner. I had dinner. Yeah.
Watch me get dinner. Watch me get dinner made up,
which was fabulous.
Yeah, something you've never had.
It was like you know those sea anemones that look like a burrito in the ocean. You know those things stuffed with cheese and meat, and it was good.
They're called stuffed shells.
It looked like a burrito, a sea burrito.
Stuffed shells.
But it was delicious, whatever it was. I loved it. It was like lasagna, only with more of an attitude. Look at me. I'm not even going to try. Lasagna.
No, see, these just roll up and hold their own fill-ins.
Yeah. Like irresponsible lasagna.
Yeah. Like responsible lasagna.
No.
You know, when you cut into it, it doesn't fall all over the place. These stay together.
Yeah, it's just lasagna with an attitude. That's all it is. Don't let it fool you. It's just young lasagna. Lasagna with blue hair. Democrat lasagna. That's what it is. It was good, though, whatever it was. How's everybody holding up in the weather? The great storm of the century. It's 2 feet of snow outside right now, and it's very cold where I'm at. And I've got my hoodie on. And it's very warm and very lush and very plush. I'm naked underneath it, so, I mean, they work perfectly. Can't beat that. Who's in chat? Debbie's first in chat. Debbie, you get the gold star for being first. Congratulations. Excuse me. Congratulations. Debbie says, hamburger helper hand, like, shared, and reminded Kevin. Kevin's here. He says, hello, Jake, Amanda, and mistress. Excuse me. Mistress. I see that. Got it. Hey, Kevin, what's up, brother? Nice to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well where you are. I hope you guys are staying warm and being safe. Dakota's here. Hi, Dakota. Long time no see. Dakota says, hi, friends. Amanda says,
Debbie, here's your gold star. And hi, Debbie, Kevin, and Dakota, hamburger helper hand.
Yay.
And hi,
Camel.
No, it's too cold for the camels. Hi, Untethered Live family. Good to see you all. I hope everyone is doing good. It's snowing here in Cold Burr.
Correction. Camel.
Yeah. Hi, Jake. How are you tonight?
I'm camely.
Yeah.
I'm cold. I'm good. It's a good day. I got a nice hot cup of coffee. Don't you want to have a cup with me? If so, go to the kitchen, pour yourself up a nice hot cup, and let's get to talking about something. If you don't have a cup, though, you can get one in the description below. I recommend the first one. It has my face on it. It is fantastic. But we also have stainless steel tumblers down there, the big ones and the little ones. They both have locking lids. They keep your coffee hot for hours. They got the Untethered Live Bible Study logo on the front, all the platforms on the back, and they look great on your coffee table. So get one if you dare, if you're brave enough, if you're cool enough. Get a stainless steel tumbler. Like, subscribe, share, support, join, and don't spill coffee on your lap. Super chats are available in the chat box if you'd like to show a little bit of love, help me keep the lights on around here. But if you want to, you can do that at CashApp, $ Jake Johnson Band, or PayPal.me/Jake Johnson Band, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. It is much needed. Thank you very much. Now, one last thing. If you'd like to hang out with us outside of the YouTubeverse, get your hands dirty somewhere else, you can do that at Facebook.com/UntetheredLive chilling. The link is in the chat. It's a great place to share pictures, text, videos, memes, and get to know one another on a personal level. And there's a group chat over there for just us. There's nobody else there. It's just us, and only people that are on this show can be accepted over there, and only some of them. So you can be reasonably sure you can share sensitive information over there and talk amongst yourselves and not be exposed to the outside world. And also, it is updated regularly with videos that are adjacent to the things we're talking about over here, just little blurbs of things, proof positive of the stuff I'm talking about, and other things that point to the worldview that I'm espousing. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's entertaining, it's fun, it's free, it's yours, it's right there, so you might as well go check it out. The link is in the chat. And now, back to the show, and I look forward to seeing you over there. Say hi. Madison, hello, darling. Nice to see you. Long time no see. How are you? I'm sure you're used to the cold. We're not. Madison says, hiya, Jake. Everyone, I am supposed to let you know that the ladies made it to Portland. Nice.
Poland.
Poland. What'd I say?
Portland.
Poland. Nice. It's late for them there now, so they are probably sleeping, probably. I'm glad you came by to let us know, and you can come by otherwise, too. We like you also. So, come hang out with us. And thank you for letting us know that they made it safely. I hope that turns out okay for them.
Madison Hamburger Helper, and that's great news. Thank you.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Amy's here. Hi, Amy. She says, Proverbs 6:16-19. These 6 things that the Lord hate, yea, 7, are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running towards mischief, and a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among the brethren. Amen to that. And hello, how are you? Amanda?
Hamburger Helper hand, Amy.
All right. Agent Kyland, hello, welcome back. Long time no see, since last night. Nice to see you. Come on in. Amy says, hi, Amanda and Jake. Hi, Amy. And Kevin and Dakota. Amanda says,
Hi, Kylan. Welcome back.
Amy says, liked, shared, and invited some friends. Yes, thank you very much, Amy. Are you staying warm? Are you okay out there? I know you hadn't been feeling very good, but I hope you're feeling better.
Here's the chilling page.
Amy says, hello to everyone in chat. Agent Kylan says, hi, how are you? What you up to? Are you faring the weather okay? It's kind of cold outside. Everywhere, from what I understand. The whole world is cold tonight for some reason. Even the other side of the world where it's summertime, it's cold there too. I don't know that to be true, but I'm just saying it. It sounds good. Amy says, can I have a tracking number for my hoodie? Yes, I'll get with you later. Amy says, Aaron is sick with the flu, and I hope he's feeling better. Me too. I haven't heard from him since last night, yesterday, something like that. Amanda?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at Kylan's page. I don't even know where it meets you, Kevin. You can warm up, but you can't cool off. He's a drummer.
That's a bummer. I hope he feels better soon, says Amanda.
Sorry. That's a bummer. I hope he feels better soon.
Amy says, I'm sick of the cold and snow. It just got started. It's going to be cold and snowy for a while. And Madison says, I try, haha. I'm just a busy girl. I hear you, but don't forget you got friends, and we love you. We like hanging out. Amy says, brighter side, it's God's way of purging the world for spring. True. Get a lot clean with snow. Kevin says, I like the cold more than extreme heat. I agree. You can put on enough clothes to be warm, but you cannot take off enough clothes to be cool if it's hot. That's a fact. Kevin says, but this is stupid cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it has dropped 20 degrees from yesterday here. 20 degrees. That's a lot.
It's 3 degrees here now.
Yeah.
And about a foot or so of snow on the ground. Just today.
Yeah. Since this morning. Like I said, I walked to the store this morning, and now it's up to my shins in snow. So, which I know for some people, that's not a lot of snow. It's not a lot of snow for us either, but we don't get snow around here as a regular. It snows like once every 5 years here. And so, and it's really, usually it just sticks to the ground and melts by the next day. About once every decade, we get a good snow, like a real snow. It didn't snow at all last winter, so.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
It did. It snowed the year I got here, which was last year, on my birthday.
No, it snowed the beginning of last year. And there's been a whole year between then and now. That's what I'm talking about.
It snowed January last year and January this year.
Whatever. Don't correct me.
You get me confused when you do that.
Well, keep it to yourself.
Me too, Kevin. You can warm up, but you can't cool off.
That's a fact. Amy says, extreme cold, Kevin. I hate it. Yeah. It's not good for the bones. I can tell you, my fingers were not enjoying today when I was on that motorcycle. I can tell you that. They burn like fire. You know, and they don't cool off. They don't warm up. I mean, you could just wrap them in coals and they'll still be cold for a while. But that's old fingers for you. Kevin says, can bundle up, but can only take off so much before getting arrested. Right? I like that. Amy says, brighter side, it's great quilting weather. Cover up and keep warm while I work on it. Right? You can cover up with the thing you're working on. That's pretty sweet. It's like a perk of the job. Just wrap up in a blanket and just be sewing on the edge of it while you're going. The more you sew, the more you can cover up. So it's got incentive built right in. Sew faster, get more covers to cover up with.
All right.
Amy says, LOL, Kevin.
What I was saying a minute ago is I went and looked at Kylan's page. He's a young boy, 8, 10-ish, maybe. Plays Roblox, but he's a drummer.
Got a young buck in here, and he's a drummer.
Yes.
Very nice. Kylan, I'm a drummer, too. Nice to meet you. You keep up the good work, and you'll be a real drummer one day. You might be a real drummer now. You might be one of those child prodigy types. I don't know.
He's got a couple of videos of him drumming on there. I didn't watch one. I just seen it.
We'll go watch one. See what kind of drummer he is.
I can't hear it right now. I'm all hooked up to you.
I understand, but you can see, can't you?
He's just got a nice little setup in a garage, it looks like.
Well, congratulations on that. What kind of drum kit do you have?
I couldn't tell. Hold on, let me see.
I have a set of pearls out in my barn. An old school set. They're very old, but they sound good.
He plays keyboard too, looks like.
Nice. Got us a musician in here. Amy says, drum, drum, drum. That's right. Amy says, I'm attaching the front to the back. Righto. That's the part where you put all the quilty stuff inside, right? Put all the, what is it called? I can't remember now. You know, the cottony stuff. Put all that down and then put two pieces together. And I know what you're talking about. I've seen it done before. Madison says, oh, also, Vic is back at the hospital. Good. Him and a buddy or comrade or whatever. You find exception with that also? Were held for the night. I'm not sure if they got bail or if they were released. I don't know. But Vic didn't act alone as far as we know. He had a little bit of convincing there, I would imagine. Yeah. I really hope that they don't throw the book at him for that. I hope they understand and let it slide. Him being a good soldier, I hope they just push it under the rug. But you never know.
I'm not exactly sure. They look like they might be a young set of pearls, a small set of pearls.
Maybe.
I think he's just learning how to play.
That's all right. You got to start somewhere.
Yep.
I had to learn how to play too. I spent 20 years standing in front of a drum set, getting the cymbals crashing my eardrums out before I learned how to play.
Yeah, he's just playing around on them.
Amy says, I hope Vic is not tethered. It's untethered. Right on. Well, hopefully he got out and he's back at the hospital, so that's a good sign, I guess. I don't think they got him cuffed up or anything. I hadn't heard anyway. Nobody said anything about it. I imagine if it was bad news, somebody would have said something. But nonetheless, we have a Politi-tics to put on, so we're going to put it on. You guys hear that Don Lemon got arrested? Hilarious. It's funny. I'm sure he's already out, but I think they're going to throw the book at him, see what happens. And I'm sure that there's going to be lots of people up in the air about that. Lots of people on the news complaining about freedom of speech and journalistic integrity and all this kind of nonsense. I'm sure that he's going to be whining on every broadcast known to man about how they mistreated him for going in and disrupting that church. I'm a journalist. I should be allowed to go in and disrupt churches at my leisure. Because my name is Lemon. Linda Davis is here. She says, hi, all in chat. Hi, Linda. How are you faring in this snow?
Hamburger helper hand, Linda.
Kevin says, hamburger helper hand, Linda. Amy says, I noticed something today. Watching the video with Don Lemon. His microphone looks like it's from Dollar General. Yellow box with DL. I think that's his logo.
Yeah, that's his logo.
And that I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing it's a square.
It is. It's a
one
black
of the square ones.
Yeah, it's a black microphone with a square with a yellow square that says DL on it.
Those are actually kind of expensive. I've been looking at getting a pair myself. But they're the best microphones on the market right now, but they're ugly in my opinion. I don't like the big square, you know. I like the little inconspicuous clip-on ones.
Like Charlie Kirk had.
Yeah. He had a square one too.
But his clipped under his shirt. With a magnet.
I like the one that clips in your shirt and all you see is the tip of the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one that has two microphones on it. It's a double. That's the good one. DL, deranged liberal. I agree. Nice. Amy says, hi, Cookie. Deranged liberal. He is that, too. I mean, that guy, you listen to him talk. I've got a video I planned on doing a reaction to. I can't remember what the situation was. Something that happened before, and he got on and, it was Charlie Kirk's funeral. That's what it was. And he got on and was talking about it. And the way he talked about it, you'd have thought he went to a Hitler rally. It's the way he described it. And that is not the scene that I saw when I watched the funeral. It looked completely different to me.
When you're eat up with evil, that's how you feel when you're in a place like that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Evil people cannot be in the presence of God. It freaks them out. And so one day I'm going to do a expose on that particular subject pretty soon. I would imagine it's about time for Hyperbole again. Fab Daddy says DL is short for down low. Well, he is definitely that. Only he's out in the public, so it's not down low anymore. Hey, Fab Daddy, nice to see you. How you faring with the cold weather? Or is it cold in California?
No, it ain't cold in California. He ain't got no
desert
snow.
Highway. Cool wind in your hair. One spell of colitis rising up in the air. Amy says, hi, Fab Daddy. Amanda.
Hamburger helper and Fab Daddy.
Patty's here. She says, hello, children. Peace. Patty. Back to your son's phone, I see. And Madison says, from the window to the wall. Right? The roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let's go. Yeah. Linda says, I'm done with the snow shit. 49 days, and I'll wake up till spring. Nice. Amy says, I was dumpster diving, And I found 3 cases of Doritos, barely out of date, and they're still edible.
Nice. That works. Until the sweat run down my LOL.
Back?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Madison says, I don't know why Down Low made me think of that song. Well, Down Low in American speak is gay. That's what gay people say. They're on the down low. You know, in the closet. I don't know why, but that is what they say.
On the down low could be sneaking and hiding.
No. That when they say that, that's what they're talking about. You go listen to the black rappers talk when they say that guy's on the DL, they're talking about he's gay. Like P. Diddy. Like when Justin Bieber went to P. Diddy's house and they filmed it, Justin Bieber was on the down low. You know what I'm saying? Which is probably why he got so famous so quickly. I'm just speculating. I don't know. Kevin says, Fab Daddy and Patty, Hamburger Helper Hand. Amanda says, Hamburger Helper Hand, Patty. Amy says, hi, Patty and Maddie. Patty and Maddie. I like it. Fab Daddy says, you can see my weather if you watch the Super Bowl. The Stupor Bowl. I don't watch the Super Bowl. More so because they sold out and they're cowards. And they sold out years ago. Amy says, single serve size. Well, that's edible. Doritos. Nice. Patty says, hi, ladies and outlaws. Nice to see you, Patty. Amy says, Fab, I watched Puppy Bowl instead. What is that? Do puppies play football?
Yes, it's where they put a bunch of puppies in a little football with puppy toys and let them play.
I guess that's entertaining too. Linda says, hi, Patty and Fab, Hamburger Helper Hand. Fab says, I hear Christy Noem is attending the Puppy Bowl this year. Probably. I hear she's about to find another job. That's what I've heard. I don't know. And Madison says, a Matty Patty, my new burger restaurant. A Matty Patty. I like it. It's like a Krusty Krab. A Matty Patty. Krabby Burger. Krabby Patty. Krabby Patty. Fab Daddy says, if the bad dogs, she has slug lock and unloaded. Slug lock and loaded. What? If the dogs are bad, she has a slug locked and loaded. I guess that's what you're trying to say. Amy says, she is? Darn it. I don't like mixing politics with something I like. I don't think they will be mixing it. I think she'll just be watching the thing. And Fab Daddy says, if that dog don't hunt, that dog can make a sandwich. That's fact. A dog that won't hunt ain't very useful. Believe it or not, there's wisdom in that statement, Fab Daddy. That dog will hunt. If you actually give credence where credence is due and listen to Southerners, you'll learn a lot of wise things about the world in their vernacular. Because they say things that make sense. They just say it in a Southern way because they don't, whether they have the education to or the time to alliterate their hypotheses, they most likely would just say it in a manner of an economy of words, meaning they'll say the most poignant part up front without all of the jibber jabber that comes along with you Northerners, Westerners, if you get my drift. Like, that dog will hunt. And Madison says, Fab Daddy, you see the new Epstein files they released? I have. Have you, Fab Daddy? Amazing how much of it is black blocked. Amy says, my dog doesn't hunt except for when I'm eating something. He wants everything on my plate. And Fab Daddy says, I have seen a few of them. It's getting kind of hard to ignore, isn't it? Amy says, my poor little dog was jumping off the couch and caught his tail, and he's limping a little. How did that happen? Caught his tail on what? ATL Transparency. Hey, brother, long time no see. How you doing, buddy? How's the weather down there? ATL says, rough, like a blue tick hound. Ain't nothing throwing the scent. Exactly. You see, I'm from the South, so I speak Southern. And I learned a long time ago the wisdom in those statements.
ATL Hamburger Helper Hand, long time no see.
It's good to see you, buddy. Amy says, hi, ATL. Transparency. Which is untethered, if you think about it. Untethered from visuality. Madison says, yeah, the last time they black blocked everything, it took less than 24 hours for people to realize that they could edit the documents and basically copy and paste the files, and they would show what was under. Yes, because the FBI is stupid. ATL says, always around. Nice. Daddy says, sup, ATL. Yeah, man, let me tell you, it's been a strange couple of weeks. And some of the information that's coming out in this new Epstein dump is funny. Jeffrey Epstein got blocked permanently from Xbox Live. He was playing World of Warcraft. And he called somebody the N-word. And I don't think that was the only thing, but that was the thing that was cited. And they booted him from it. So he went over and started playing another game. And then he got in a fight with Bill Gates in that game. Then they started emailing each other. And Bill Gates was asking him to send him some antibiotics for an STT that he caught by banging a couple of Russian girls. And he wanted to surreptitiously give those antibiotics to his wife without her knowing, to treat her for the STD that he gave her without her knowing. And Jeffrey Epstein refused, and it became a big thing. So now he's dead, which is what Bill Gates said the last time he was questioned about it. Well, he's dead now, so. Which isn't a thing that innocent people say. I thought that was kind of funny and enlightening.
And Elon Musk being involved with something.
Yep, Elon Musk was named, which is funny. We made this realization last night. Didn't Elon Musk send out a tweet saying the reason that Trump didn't want anything to do with the Epstein files is because he was in them? You're welcome, he says. Mic drop. Well, turns out you're in them too, Elon. But it's in Elon's favor because it was Jeffrey Epstein that was trying to get Elon Musk to come to the island. And he kept asking him. And Elon kept buffeting him, blowing him off, trying to get away from him. So really, Jeffrey Epstein was playing the black op, trying to get rich people over to the island to have something on them. And for whatever reason, Elon Musk evaded that. He didn't go. So that's good. But he was involved. So there is that. But it just goes to show you that anytime they accuse you of something, that's the very thing they're guilty of. What do you think about that?
They usually say the one doing the accusing is the one doing the dirt.
Amy says Bill Gates dropped out of college, but somehow is considered a doctor. That makes no sense. He's not considered a doctor by any stretch of the imagination. He's a philanthropist, and he puts a lot of money into the medical world. And for that reason, they listen to him. But he's not a doctor by any stretch of the imagination. But he does put a lot of money into medical stuff. The kind of medical stuff that hurt people. Which is interesting. Fab Day says they just released 3 million. They claim they have around 3, but they aren't going to release them. What? Maybe because the DOJ is having a difficult time. I would imagine so. I told you before, Fab Daddy, you were never going to hear the truth because it would bring the entire House of Cards down because everybody is involved. Everybody. It's like COVID-19. You're going to get it. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. Doesn't matter how much masks you wear. Doesn't matter how many vaccines you take. You're going to get it. Everyone is going to get it because that's what airborne viruses do. Same thing with this. Everyone that's powerful is involved in some fashion. Maybe not all of them guilty, but all involved. And the Court of Public Appeal has a strange way of not caring whether you're guilty or not. If they see that you're anywhere near it, they judge you based on it. That's going to bring the whole house of cards down. You don't want that. So no, they're not going to release anything of any real value. Fab Daddy says Elon and his brother. Yep. Fab Daddy says Lutnick is a liar, pants on fire. I don't know who Lutnick is. Who is that? Madison says the thing is, they have been holding these files for so long. How do we know that they haven't been altered? Exactly. By now, they could give you whatever they wanted you to have, and you wouldn't know the difference. And I have a hard time believing there's two rich old fuckers chilling on some online game together. Well, they were less old in those days.
Well, yeah, and a pervert will go anywhere they can.
Yeah, online games is the place where you recruit young people. So if he was there, that would be my guess. He was there trying to recruit people. Amy says, Fab Daddy, I don't trust three-letter agencies. And Madison says, Lamau. Fab Daddy says, DOJ has had 76 count procedures. They are in contempt of procedures. I don't know what that means, Fab Daddy. You have to be more specific. Contempt by whom? And what procedures are you referring to? Just this month, says Fab Daddy. That didn't mean anything to me. What are you talking about?
Amy says left ring, white, I can't even talk.
Left wing, right wing, same bird.
With an anus in the middle.
Amy says both sides are corrupt and trying to gain control by dividing us. I agree. Oh, Lutnick is Epstein's neighbor in New York. Got it. I don't know what role he plays in all this. Debbie says, Fab, if the Democrats do not care that Clinton was on the plane and the island, why do you care that Trump wasn't? And try to pretend that he was.
Good question.
That is a good question. Rachel's here. Hey, Rachel, long time no see. How you doing, darling? How you faring in the cold? Nice to see you.
Rachel, hamburger helper hand.
Amy says, hi, Rachel. Madison says, Trump was absolutely on the island, Lamont. He was not.
No, he was in the plane, but not on the island.
Correct.
He used the plane. And Epstein used to go to Mar-a-Lago until Trump realized that he was a creep and kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, the thing that most people don't realize, and I'm going to say this, I said this here before, and most people ignored me when I said it, but then it came out on the news. The very reason Epstein was arrested in the first place, and the very reason we know that he exists in the first place, is because Trump worked as an informant for the FBI and got him arrested. That's what happened. You see, he went to Mar-a-Lago and started trying to recruit young girls that worked there, and Trump didn't like it. And so he kicked him out. And then a couple of years later, he tried some other stuff, and Trump went and became a special informant and had him arrested. He turned him in. So that's the reason that we know about who Jeffrey Epstein is. That's the reason he was in jail for this in the first place. Had Trump not done that, we would not know his name or that there was an island. You can dislike Trump, but those are the facts. Fab Daddy says Lutnick was Commerce Secretary under Trump's first term. Interesting. And Rachel says, I'm sick. I'm sorry to hear that, Rachel. Are you okay? And Madison says, they have pictures together. Yes, but that was not on the island. That was at Mar-a-Lago. Whatever the reason was, good or bad, he was there. No, he was not. He was not on the island. The island is St. James. It's a little island. They don't have a lot of pictures from there. Jeffrey Epstein and Trump were together on several occasions at benefits and places that rich people frequent. But the pictures that are in the news are of him at Mar-a-Lago, not the island. Rachel says, thanks, Amber. Did I miss Amber?
No, she was talking to me.
Oh.
Or Amy. She's NyQuil high.
Oh, I see. Here we go. Amanda says 906.
Oh no, Rachel, feel better soon, hon.
Amy says, I'm not feeling well either, Rachel. I hope you feel better soon. And Rachel says, who the F is Amber? I meant Amanda. Sorry, I took NyQuil, LOL. I hear you. That's okay. And Fab Daddy says, I want justice for the 1,200 plus ladies. Me too. We're in agreement there. And Amanda says,
it's all good, Rachel.
Madison says, what Johnson was talking about. And what Johnson was talking about. I don't know who Johnson is, unless you're talking about me. That's the only Johnson I know. Rachel says, it's effing 11 degrees here. I know, it's 3 degrees here. Amanda says, it's 3 degrees here and a foot more of snow. A foot or more of snow. Rachel says, try to get it tomorrow. Amanda, ridiculous high of 4 tomorrow. Right on. Yeah, it's going to be cold. Debbie says, Madison Trump was the only one that answered questions when asked and helped convict Epstein. And that was said by the prosecuting attorney. True. Mike Johnson. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. That's the Speaker of the House. Mike Johnson is Speaker of the House, says Amy. Thank you. Rachel says, snow needs to SMD, pissing me off. This coldness. Yeah, it's something else. Fab Daddy says Trump was lying when he said he cut ties in 2004 or 5. I doubt that.
I don't, because he became an agent for the FBI or CIA to do undercover against Epstein.
Yeah, if he went back to mess with Epstein, it was because he was collecting evidence. That's the reason Epstein got arrested. Go look at the files. You can't ignore that. It was said on national television, so I'm not the only person that knows this. And Deb says, prove it, Fab. Do you know him personally?
And Trump don't have to mess with little girls. He's got grown-ass women.
Yeah, well, when you're the richest man in the world or one of them, you don't have any trouble getting laid. That's a fact. Sorry, it's true. Just look at the locker room talk. That's what he was bragging about. That's not in the files. Prove that. What's not in the files? And prove what? What are you referring to, Fab? Now you're just like reaching into the atmosphere. Say a thing. You can't just be nebulous. This is Politi-tics. You got to have a point. If you don't have a point, don't say things. Amy says, I wish I knew Trump personally. He hands out $100 bills, right? Madison says Lamau. He does do that quite a lot. And if you do something nice for him, he's liable to buy your house for you or something like that. He did that once. They don't talk about things like that on TV, though. Tennessee Bubba, welcome back. 19 degrees here in Chattanooga and 2 to 3 inches of snow and a busted pipe, LOL. Yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah, when it gets cold like that, pipes go. You got to be real careful. Keep your water dripping. Amanda says,
Go ahead.
You said it.
Read it. I'm typing.
Based on September 2025 reports, claims that Donald Trump acted as an undercover or FBI informant against Jeffrey Epstein originated from House Speaker Mike Johnson. Well, actually, it originated from when he did it. That's where I got it from because it happened on the news back then. They just didn't make a big deal about it. That was, I don't know, 2003, 4, something like that, 5.
I don't care if Mike's an idiot. There's your proof, Fab.
Yeah, him being an idiot is irrelevant to the fact that he said it on national television, and you can't just say things like that and not mean it. Amanda says, hamburger upper hand, Bubba. And by the way, he's Speaker of the House, so he's not that much of an idiot. You're not Speaker of the House, so there's that.
Yeah.
So he was a snitch, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't like how the Epstein was treating them young girls.
Right. He definitely acted in defense of the young ladies. See, real men do that. Real men defend young ladies. They don't take advantage of them. There are monsters out there, but there are equally numbered of good men that will protect young women if they're allowed to, if they're not told every day of their lives that masculinity is toxic and that there's something wrong with them for being male. Maybe then. Madison says someone saying something is not proof. Right. People lie on national television every day. That's correct. But not in the press room when there's people reporting all of this stuff who can get the records and concur what's being said. That's right. Real men use 5-weight 20, not baby oil. Amen. Amy. Fab Daddy says he was asked about that in a later interview, and he took back Trump was an informant. Maybe he did. You know why he did? Because that was not public information at the time. Or because Trump told him to take it back. That does not make it true. Like I said, like Madison said, people lie all the time on national television. But when you can go look at the records, that's not a lie. And like I said, I was there. I wasn't there. I was alive when it happened. And I remember it happening. So it's not like it was made up. This is not a thing they just invented out of whole cloth. But I'll say this for the record. This is a political show. And that means that we have to play in the political arena. Whether or not somebody is lying is not my purview. It's not my job to check everybody's credentials. It's my job to pick a lane of thought and go with that. And I pick the most intelligent, most honest, most forward-thinking lane and stay there. If someone lies, that's not me lying. I'm reporting what was said. If he lied about it, that's his fault, not my fault. That makes sense? Just like you take your direction from CNN, I take mine from the actual things that are occurring. It would be in the files. It is in the files. That's why I said it's in the files. Remember when I said that? You can go look. It's there. It is in the files.
While they were acquaintances, Trump has stated that he broke ties with Epstein in early 2000s after a falling out. Victims' attorneys have previously noted that Trump was among the few willing to assist in looking into the claims against Epstein years ago, but no evidence has emerged confirming formal undercover information status with FBI.
Informant status. There you have it. Amy says, darn internet. Is your internet cutting out on you? Debbie says, and there is the fact that Trump loved and admired, that Trump was loved and admired, and there were several news stories of his altruism and how he always was giving until he decided to run for president. Yes, that's a fact. The thing you seem to forget, Fab Daddy, is that before he came down that escalator, everybody loved him. Everybody. He was the most popular guy in the world then. And they talked about all the good things he did. And that's one of the things they talked about. Now, as was stated earlier, that in the early 2000s, Trump cut ties with Epstein over a falling out. Well, the falling out was over the women that worked at Mar-a-Lago that Epstein was trying to recruit. That's why he got kicked out of Mar-a-Lago, which is on the minutes. You can go find that. So you can find out where Trump kicked him out and why. And then later you can find out that he was arrested because of tips that came from Trump. And in my mind, whether that's a official position or not, that's him working as an informant. So, Amy says, I don't think they would disclose a confidential informant because it wouldn't be confidential. Correct. That's why Speaker Johnson took it back, because you can't just blurt out that someone was a confidential informant if they don't want people to know. Madison says, right, no evidence, just heresy. People have murdered others and helped look for their bodies. Helping means nothing. Right. Rachel says, NyQuil is hitting hard. I'll try to join. Good night. All right. Well, I hope you feel better, Rachel. Try to join more. Try to join more. Well, that's good. I want you to come back. We miss you around here. But get to feeling better. That's important. Kevin says, Fab Daddy, has it ever occurred to you that when the Democrat federal judge that won't allow the documents to be released could contain those records? Right.
And probably the judges that don't want it released are in the files them damn selves.
Yeah, there's a reason that they're fighting against releasing the files, and it ain't a good one. And Rachel says, feel better, Amy. Feel better, Rachel. Both of y'all feel better.
Night, Rachel. Feel better soon.
That NyQuil should do the trick, though, I promise. And Rachel says, good night, everyone. Good night. And Amanda Hart. Amy says, good night, Rachel. Push fluids and get some rest. Dwight07 is here. Hello, Dwight. He says, your defense is so shameful for a Christian question. What are you talking about? I haven't been asked a Christian question.
Dwight, hamburger helper hand.
And I don't do shameful things. So if you think it's shameful, maybe the problem is you. Amy says it worked. I knew if I held out long enough on not cooking, eventually my son would get hungry and make tacos. That's one way to do it.
That's what I got to do? Okay.
In defense of Trump. Yeah, well, when I defend people, it's because they're defensible. I never said that Trump was a good man, but he's not guilty of the things that they're trying to push on him. And he is the president of the United States. I suggest you get behind that because you want your country to be successful. And Fab Daddy says, what Democrat judge? All of them, Fab Daddy. All of them. Bill Bennett says, hello, listening. Hello, listening. Nice to see you.
Trump doesn't have cocaine in the White House and ain't getting his willy wet in the White House by people that's not his wife. And
yeah, what about all that?
Yeah.
Amanda says, Bill, hamburger upper hand. Amy says, hi, Bill. Richard Duggan says, America is back in Minnesota.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. No, that's just the latest talking point. You watch. That's going to come to an end. There's a deal being made. And hello, Monkey Juice. Nice to see you. Fab Daddy says, I know the federal judge in New York. I know the Fed judge in New York denied a special master to have oversight of the DOJ. So, what's your point?
Tom Homan has oversight of the DOJ.
You seem to be on the wrong side of things here, Fab Daddy. The DOJ works at the pleasure of the president, not a judge in New York. That's not a job the judge in New York can do. That's why he overturned it. Amanda says,
hamburger helper hand monkey. LOL, not.
Dwight says, when Biden was president, were you behind him? Yes. I don't like Biden. I never made any bones about that. But he was my president because he was in the White House. But I call a spade when I see one. And he got there on nefarious ways. And I made mention of it. Absolutely. But I did not wish him any defeat. He was the president. So I wanted our country to be successful then, as I do now. You're blind if you don't see it. Well, what is it? You and Fab Daddy both have this way of saying nebulous things that mean nothing. All you're doing is wasting oxygen and my time. What is it that I don't see?
The support American support in Minnesota.
I know more about that than you do. Kevin says the court case files that are sealed contain all of the testimonies of the witnesses. Those court records are sealed by a Democrat judge in Florida. Well, there you go. So that Democrat judge. Amy says the media has pushed a narrative against Trump, and a lot of people take it at their word instead of researching it themselves. I like Trump. I don't love him. He makes mistakes. Of course he does. He's not the savior of the world. He's just a president. He's just a man. He's not a particularly good man either, but he's a crude, harsh businessman, and he can get the job done if people will get out of his way and allow him to do it, which he seems to want to do. So I don't understand what the problem is. People are so wrapped up in their feelings that they have forgotten that if we don't allow the president to run the country, it will go down in flames. And a man that loves America is the guy you want running the country. I don't know why you don't see that. So you're blind if you don't see that, which has an implication that that is the thing I was talking about. What are you talking about? Kevin says they are not part of the Epstein files. Who are not? Who are they? Fab Daddy says that was the judge that had control of the Ghislaine trial. Yes. Weird how that is that way, isn't it? How so many people who have a conflict of interest seem to be inserting themselves in places they shouldn't be. It's almost like they're trying to cover something up.
I don't, and no, they're not backing Minnesota.
No, they're not backing Minnesota. And by the way, what would they be backing of Minnesota? You mean the Somali daycare leering centers or the mega fraud that Tim Walz is pulling off?
In Ilhan
Omar? Or are you talking about the protesters? What about Minnesota are you referring to them backing?
The protesters that are paid by Democrats.
Right.
or the pretty guy or that has been protesting for weeks and causing a whole bunch of problem with law enforcement for weeks before he got shot.
Yeah, which there's video evidence of him doing exactly the same thing a day earlier or a week earlier. And this time it backfired on him. Fab Daddy says the DOJ works for Congress.
No, they don't.
You need to go read the Constitution, buddy, and every other piece of paper that this country is founded upon. Nobody works for the Congress. The Congress is its own thing.
And Pam Bondi and Tom Holman are running the Congress DOJ right now.
The DOJ and every other office in the executive branch work at the pleasure of the president. That is what is stated. It doesn't always work out that way because we got a bunch of turncoats up there right now. But that is the way it's supposed to be. And if he's operating under the assumption that things are going to run the way they're supposed to be, he's not wrong. Sorry. The Congress don't make laws. They write laws. The president approves or vetoes it. A certain number of them anyway. And that's all. The Supreme Court gets involved in all of that. Richard Duggan says, seems like the dog killer, Christine Gnomes, is on the way out. Yeah, it does seem that way. I said earlier, it looks like she's about to get a new job. Why is she a dog killer? Is that some obscure reference that was mentioned in a book somewhere that you pulled out just to make a name to call her? Because you got nothing better? Is that what that is? Fab Daddy says it should be independent like the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is neither federal nor does it reserve anything. That's not a government installation, Fab Daddy. It's not independent. It is its own thing. Wow. You really don't understand how the government works, do you? Kevin says the DOJ is one of... Oh, my chat jumped.
$9.42.
Thank you. 9:42 or 9:24?
9:24, sorry.
There we go. The DOJ is one of the three branches of government. Bill Bennett says he wasn't president. Not sure who was. Obama? Who knows? What are we talking about? When? Bill? Debbie says Judge Richard Berman is the Democrat-appointed judge that stopped the release of all the files. There you go, Fab Daddy. Richard Berman. Bill Bennett says sealed because children, minors, were violated. Amanda?
No, the Department of Justice, DOJ, does not work for Congress. It is a part of the executive branch and reports to the president while Congress creates laws and holds oversight power. The DOJ maintains independence to prosecute cases through its often corporate with Congress, inquires, respond to investigations, and requires Senate information for the Attorney General.
Right.
No, wait, that jumped. Hold on, my chat completely jumped.
Bill Bennett says also keeping the elites protected. There you go. That's why the files were sealed. They don't care about the children who are violated. Look at the track record of the government. They have been pretty rough on children this whole time. They don't care. What they care about is the elites losing shareholders or losing influence or losing their backers and things like that. That's what they care about.
Let me try that again. No, the Department of Justice does not work for Congress. It is part of the executive branch and reports to the president. While Congress creates laws and holds oversight power, the DOJ maintains independence to prosecute cases, though it often cooperates with Congress, inquiries, responds to investigations, and requires Senate confirmation from the Attorney General.
Better. And yeah, the Congress has oversight committees. That's the only power they wield. They can subpoena and they can have oversight, which means they can question things and they can go into a skiff and read all of the documents. That's all they can do. They don't have any power over the country. They are not the president. The president is the president. Monkey Juice says, one day is a long time ago. My gas in Florida hasn't budged. I don't know what you're talking about. I know that gas is under $3 here. And there are 19 states where it's under $2.
And Christy Nome did not kill her dog.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Madison says, isn't sealing documents including children is common practice? Yes, it's very common practice. But it's common practice to keep secrets. Secrets that are deemed secret by some president. Might not have been this one. $2.99, that's pretty good, buddy. It was $4 a gallon when your guy was in office and higher. That's half. As it says, remove is. I know speaky English. Is sealing documents, including children, commonplace? Yes. Amy says executive, legislative, and judicial are the three branches it allows for checks and balances. And we have a fourth branch of the government now, the media. They don't like to call it that, but that's exactly what it is. They are in heavy swaying political ideology. So, yeah, they are one of the branches of the government, whether they want to be or not. Kevin says court cases are not part of the Epstein file. That's true. Bill Bennett says Obama appointed judges. Most likely our country is effed. Most likely. But every president appoints judges. They have an opportunity when they first become president to fill any vacant seats or to appoint any new ones that need to be appointed. And that, so every president gets that opportunity. Trump did it. Obama did it. Clinton did it. Bush did it. It's just the way it is. Who's paying Democrats, says Richard Duggins. Probably George Soros or Alex Soros' son.
Well, they're paying the protesters. They're involved in the protesters.
That's what I'm guessing you're asking. Not Democrats, just the people that are getting paid to protest.
But the Democrats are paid by the taxpayers. So are the Republicans.
There you go. Amy says Republicans and Democrats are both paid by we the people.
Right.
Correct.
That's the funniest shit I've read all night.
And Richard says you're falling for Fox News talking points. Well, that's amazing. I don't watch Fox News. How am I doing that? I haven't seen a Fox News broadcast in probably 5 years. So how exactly am I doing that, Monkey Juice? I don't watch CNN either.
Or MSNBC or ABC or CBS or none of that.
MSDNC.
Or MS Now or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't watch that garbage. That's garbage. If you don't read the papers, you're uninformed. If you do read the papers, you're misinformed. Ring a bell? I look at the stuff that's happening when it happens, and then I make decisions based on reality. I don't watch the news. So I'm going to hold you to that. How exactly am I falling for Fox News talking points? I don't even watch Gutfeld, and he's pretty funny. Amanda says,
we don't watch the news channels. Sorry.
Monkey Juice says, Pam Bondi doesn't work for the president. That's the problem. Who do you think she works for?
Kevin says the Epstein files were collected after the fact.
Yeah. What is her job there, Monkey Juice? Pam Bondi. Isn't she the Attorney General?
Pam Bondi totally works for the president.
That's go read the mission statement of the Attorneys General. Their job, whether there be one or two of them, is at the pleasure of the president. She absolutely works for the president. Chat jump.
929.
Sure it's not 992?
No, 929.
Amy says, I watch both sides of the news. The truth is in the middle most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. If you have double vision, you look in the middle, that's what's happening. Monkey Juice says, she shot her dog, dude. Where do you get that information?
She did not.
And if she did, it's probably because the dog needed to be put down. You ever think about that? Or are you one of those people that's never lived out in the woods before? You never been out to touch grass. Sometimes you got to kill animals. What are you talking about? Did she do it because she was just wild and crazy and drunk one night and just shoot the dog? I don't think so. Amy says, hi, Monkey Juice. What it is, says, hello, Jake, Amanda, and to all Untethered Live. What it is, nice to see you, brother. How are you? How you faring in the cold?
Yes, hi, Monkey, or what it is. And yes, Pam Bondi works for Donald Trump as the current United States Attorney General, a position she was confirmed for in early 2025 after being nominated by President Trump, and she has a long history as a staunch ally and legal advisor for him, serving on his impeachment defense team and leading the Department of Justice. She absolutely works for Donald Trump.
Yeah. Amy says, hi, Monkey Juice, twice. Amber Grounds is here. She says, good evening, friends. Smiley faces and hearts and whatever that thing is. And a hamburger over hand. Hey, Amber. Monkey Juice says, hello, Amy. Madison says, oh, hey, did Nugent ever come back?
Nugget.
Did Nugget ever come back since last Saturday? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. Monkey Juice says DOJ is supposed to be independent, period. No, it's not. Who told you that? What? Do you understand that this country is ran by two parties? It's a two-party system, Democrats and Republicans. And both sides have a system of government in place. When one gets elected, that system takes over. When the other gets elected, that system takes over. All of those systems work at the pleasure of the president. That's how it works. That's what the government is. This idea that Trump's not in charge, he's the president. Read the Constitution. Fab Day says, I got my popcorn. What it is says, so what is it going to take to shake
them or clean?
That's not English. So what is going to take to shake thee or clean the slate for America to get back to the basics of being law-abiding citizens? Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no.
We have Democrats that have lost their minds. As long as those exist, we're not going to be back to law-abiding citizens anytime soon. Because they think they're above the law, or they think the law is outdated, or whatever it is they think. Some of them actually think the law isn't at the pleasure of the president because somebody told them that. Amber says, for the record, I went out in the snow today, posted pics for proof. Right on. Amy says, I talked to Nugget today. He's doing well. He lives in a different time zone, 6 hours ahead. He's okay, but he misses his mom. I know that's right. Monkey Juice says, Pam Bondi is a bootlicker, probably, as most of them are. It's kind of what you want in a DOJ. As he serves at the pleasure of the president, you want him to listen to the president. That's what DOJ's for. What good is having a president if the law doesn't follow his vision for the America that he's running? Think about what you're saying. Amanda says,
what it is in Amber, hamburger helper hand.
Amber says, I got 3 popcorns. I see your popcorn and raise you 2, Fab Daddy. Amy says, grief is different for everyone, but yet the same. True that. Madison says, I don't know exactly what happened. I seen him leave upset. Or maybe I'm mistaken for the other John. No, it was Nugget.
It was Nugget.
And I think that he turned against Trump and can't handle me being a Trump apologist. I think that's what it was. But I'm not sure. I don't turn. I'm not wishy-washy. When I make my mind up about something, that's the way it is. That's the gospel. And some people can't do that. I understand. Hopefully, I've earned enough respect and honor amongst people that disagree with me that we can be friends without being in agreement 100%. Some people can't do that either. So I don't know what to say about that. But I don't flip-flop. I make up my mind, and that's the way it is. Amy says, hi, GG, heart, amber grounds, glitter grounds. Madison says, anyways, I was popping in that night and lurking. I seen Vic losing it a bit and messaged Mabel to come get your man. I figured that's what happened because she sure popped in and handled that. Thank you for that. Amy says, you had the correct John. Bill Bennett says, we are all disposable no matter who is in charge. Find Jesus. Our country will not be united until we find the Lord. I'm conservative and no common ground with liberals. We should love one another. I hear you there. What it is, says Holman said once again at the press conference, we have a job to do and we're going to do it. And what credentials does Don Lemon have as far as being a reporter? Who does he work for? Is he an independent? He is now an independent.
Keep going.
He works for himself. What it is says back in the day, when there was civil unrest, there was a lot of head knocking going on with hickory sticks and axe handles and other things. That is changed now. It's to the point that we have a generation that don't know shit. And it seems like we're at the beginning of a civil war, in a sense, to the point that people have got so comfortable in breaking laws that seems like entitlement. I agree. It is entitlement. I got to get back up here now.
9:34.
Amber says, liked, shared, and Facebook shared. Liked and Facebook shared. Maybe more friends will show up. Well, thank you. Well, we've had 157 views already. That's not terrible for a Saturday night. I wish we had some more super chatters or donators, but we'll get there. Amy says, agreed, Bill. And hi, what it is. Amy says, if you can, please feed Jake. CashApp and PayPal accepted. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. Richard says, nobody's paying anybody. People are very upset. Apparently, you don't see that. Hey, Monkey Juice, don't you speak for other people. If they want to pay me, they certainly can. What are you talking about? And I know people are upset. That's why I'm up here talking. I'm being the adult in the room by sharing a conversation. If you want to go off all willy-nilly and start popping off and trying to hurt my pocketbook, we'll have a problem. Amber says, I haven't watched any mainstream news since Trump's first term, and he labeled it fake news. Right on. I got tired of yelling at the TV, so I stopped watching the news. Amy says, Judy says hi, and she got company tonight. All right, tell her we said hello.
She definitely works for the president.
Yes, she does, Monkey Juice. You are incorrect, sir. Whether you're upset about it or not, that's wrong. Who do you think she works for? Amy says, Amber, are you enjoying the Midwest weather? What it is says, like this morning, reel that I watched said, get all the illegals to vote for Republicans and see how fast the Democrats would want to throw the illegals out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Monkey Juice. She definitely, Pam Bondi works for the president. That's what the attorneys general do. They work for the president.
She totally works for Trump.
Don't believe that? Go back and look at, why do they call it Trump's DOJ? Go listen to any news broadcast. It's Trump's DOJ. It's Biden's DOJ.
And didn't she have to be accepted by Congress when Trump appointed her?
Yeah.
So
Didn't Trump appoint her?
Clearly, she works for Trump. So does Tom Holman.
Everybody that works in the government works at the pleasure of the president, including Congress and the Senate and everybody else. They don't work in his favor, but they work at his pleasure. They're going to do what he wants to do, one way or the other. Fab Daddy says, that dog didn't hunt. No, it didn't. That's probably why she shot it. Funny how we started out with that conversation and it led to this one. But that's exactly probably why she shot it.
Or it was old and needed to be put down.
Probably. Amy says, via a quick search, I found this, ... In April 2024, it was revealed that South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem wrote in her memoir, not going back, an obscure reference from a book, like I said, that she shot and killed a 14-month-old wire-haired pointer cricket approximately 20 years ago. Did it say why? No, Monkey Juice, it doesn't. I have the Constitution right here. Would you like to tell me where it says it doesn't? Or where it doesn't say that? I'll look it up real quick. How about that? Do you have a Constitution at your desk? I'm just asking for a friend.
Hell, I'm asking for myself.
Bill Bennett says, I'm not sure the whole story, but she wrote a book and some killing a puppy was in that, and her editors tried to leave it out. I think she was trying to sound tough, or maybe that's just what happened, and so she wrote it. It is a memoir. A memoir is a record of your life. So maybe that's just what happened. Maybe there's other reasons it's in the book. Maybe it was a pivotal moment. Maybe she learned something from it. Maybe there's a narrative strand that comes from that happening, and it's important to be in the book. Have you read the book, or are you just hearing what somebody on CNN said about it? Not you, Bill, but the people that are questioning it.
And what does it matter? It was 20 years ago.
Right.
Ain't got shit with her doing her job now.
Also true. Amy says prior. 20 years prior. Amber says, Amy, I'll take the snow and freezing cold over the abusive relationship I was in. Best I can say about that. At least here, it's the weather. Right on. The Constitution doesn't have an office, buddy. Works for the Constitution. No, she doesn't. And the law is at the pleasure of the president. He makes the law. He is the commander-in-chief, the biggest head in the government.
And the president upholds the Constitution.
Right. Not Republicans or Democrats. No, both of them work at the pleasure of the people. They both have a ideology, left and right. One time the president is a Democrat, the next time the president is a Republican, or vice versa. And they shift accordingly. They both have different ways of running things. But they're both efficient. Nobody works for the Constitution. They uphold the Constitution. They work in the honor of the Constitution. And it doesn't matter if you yell no, you're still wrong. You have no clue about the Constitution. Richard, I would take you on any day of the week with half my brain tied behind my back. Just because you say a thing don't make it true. I'd be willing to wager money I've read the Constitution more times than you have. And the Bill of Rights, and the Federalist Papers, and every other document that I could get my hands on. Amy says, prayers, Amber. Well, I'm glad you're out of that relationship, Amber, and I hope that you keep moving forward, away from it. And Bill says 3 equal branches, legislation, judicial, and executive, and also media. Amber says, is Richard new here? He seems to be wanting to have a debate. Let's all pray for him and America. No, he's not new here. That's monkey juice. And he's just trying to start shit because his panties are in a twist. If he actually thinks that, he is sorely mistaken. Can I get another cup of that coffee?
You would wait till I get all bundled up and comfortable, huh?
Yeah. Amy says, Amber, that's monkey juice. He's not new. Amanda says, no, Amber, just think he knows it all, and I've proved him wrong twice already. Why do you think Republicans are superior, says Fab Daddy? Now, when have I said that, Fab Daddy? I don't recall having ever said that. So why do you hear things that did not come out of my mouth? Could it be that Trump derangement syndrome working on your brain a little bit? I never said that. Matter of fact, just a minute ago, I said that both Republicans and Democrats have different ways of running the country, and both are efficient. Didn't I say that? So I don't clearly see how I've said anything leaning in the direction of Republicans. That's just what you're hearing because you are biased and opinionated and wrong. Amber says, oh, government name. Debbie says South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is doubling down on her decision to shoot and kill her 14-month dog, Cricket, 20 years ago, saying that she shot the dangerous dog in order to protect her children. Ah, the dog that bites. Yeah, I don't know if you guys from California are familiar with this, but the rest of the world, we put down dogs that bite because they don't ever learn not to bite. Once they show a propensity to bite, you shoot them. That's how that works. Weaker people, Democrats, take them to the SPCA to have a needle put in their neck. Real people handle it their own business. Yeah, you're making a big deal out of nothing.
Especially if it attacks its own people.
I've shot dogs before. It's no big deal. I've also killed chickens with my bare hands. Does that make me crazy? No, it does not. Makes me know where my food comes from. And that's right, Bill. He is Commander-in-Chief. Monkey Juice says, DO is supposed to be independent. DOJ. No, it's not. It's supposed to be nonpartisan. That's the word you're looking for, which is a different word than independent. Nonpartisan means they don't pick sides. They just follow the law, which they do. But it's not possible to be nonpartisan. I know it's a nice ideal, and hopefully you'd like to think that your law enforcement agencies are nonpartisan, but judging by the way the FBI has been acting for the last 20 years, they're very partisan, very left-wing, and they're carrying out things based on that, which is dangerous for the country. We have been infiltrated by your kind, and those people need to go. So if you're attached to that, look for what's coming. What it is, do you think that the president will pull the switch on Minnesota and start putting sanctions on that state to squeeze the people back in line? He's going to do something. I don't know what it is. But he ain't going to let it continue much longer because they're going crazy up there. Only in Minnesota. Oddly enough. Wonder why. All of this Civil War talk is coming from that place anyway.
I'll tell you something that's funny. I read today on one of my things from Florida that the immigrants and people coming from Minnesota are coming down to Florida into Polk County where Grady Judd and all them are. They're going to the wrong place. They think they had it bad in Minnesota. Florida's a FAFO for sure.
Yeah. You got to watch out for that. He'll shoot you.
He'll tell all of his citizens to do it too.
Yeah. Debbie says, we were her second chance. Noam said Wednesday evening on Fox News, Hannity, the day she put down the dog was a day that she massacred livestock that were part of our neighbors.
They're all supposed to be independent, but none of them are. And to the dog thing,
Not independent, nonpartisan.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. And if a dog is going to attack its own family, oh yeah.
Yeah. Amy says if a dog is dangerous, that's what you're supposed to do. Quick and easy. Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%. And I assumed it was something like that. Either that or it was sick or it broke its legs or something. There was a reason she did it. People don't just kill dogs unless they're Michael Vick. Or, some secret serial killer. Kevin says the DOJ is part of the executive branch, period. Yes, which means at the pleasure of the president. Play the tapes from the Pam Bondi confirmation, says Richard Duggins. Well, I watched the confirmation. What part do you want to know about? What's that got to do with anything? Amber says, I spoke with Nugget today, and he was worried I was upset with him. I don't know why I'd be upset with him. He's a friend. Well, because he left angry at me, because I support my country. That's one of the troubles with having friends in other countries who might not be aligned politically with the way that things are happening in your country. Sometimes they can't see past it, and I'm assuming that's what happened. He didn't say anything to me, so I don't know, but I assume that's what the case was. I noticed that there was a uptick on Facebook posts from him that were anti-Trump. Then he came here knowing that I'm not anti-Trump, and then he got mad and left. So I'm assuming that's what it was. Risen ATTL, good evening. Welcome to the show. Amy says, welcome, Arisen. Please like and subscribe. Yes, please hit that subscribe button. And Dakota says, hi, friends. Hi, Dakota. Amy says, hi, Dakota. Risen says, your chat's about to jump. And it did. Now, if I can find where I left off, I'll be good. I went too far. Where am I at?
I'm trying to find it too. Independent plays the tapes. Good evening, welcome. 8:44. 9:44.
I found it. I'm Alex. Amy says Risen. Alex, welcome. Dakota says, hi, Amy. Risen says, he lives. He does. Dakota says, I subscribe to you and I hit that like button. Thank you very much, Dakota. Now, if everyone else would do that, it'd be fantastic. Unless you already have subscribed, don't hit the like button because then you'll unsubscribe. Don't hit the subscribe button if you're already subscribed. Don't need any unsubscribers. Amber says, Dakota, welcome. Amanda?
I don't know. Hamburger Helper Hand Dakota, I don't know.
Risen.
Hi, Risen, welcome.
Dakota says, hi, Amber. And hi, Amanda. Risen says, hi, I've not been here in some time. Well, I'm glad you're here now, Risen. Care to weigh in on your ideas of politics? Dakota says, I just subscribed to you and I hit the like button. Second time. Amber says, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. One of my favorite songs. Amen. Risen says, amen. What it is says, all I can do is pray for them and change my thinking. That's all you can do. I don't change my thinking, though, because I think about it first, and then I come to a conclusion, and then I stick with that. Might make me seem a little hard-headed, but it's because I've already put through the process of thought and come to that conclusion logically, so I stick with it being the truth, unless something happens that changes my mind, which is not easy to do. Amy says, people work for the administration. Yes, that's why they call it Trump's White House, Trump's administration, or the Trump White House, or the Trump presidency. Why they call it that? Because everybody that's there works at his pleasure. There's no one there that doesn't answer to the president. Believe that. Linda says, Fab, I don't think all the Republican Party is superior, but I do know this country became divided under the Democrats. I just want to go back 25 years and have the camaraderie that we had back then. I agree with that 100%. I don't think that the Republicans are superior, but I think that Christians in general have a better chance of leading us in a good direction than Democrats do. Risen says, I believe the nations are dashing their heads together. You're not wrong. Dakota says, hi, Linda. Amy says, Alex, please remember Bible study is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Amen. Yeah, come join us for Bible study. You'll love it. And Dakota says, yes. Amber says, what it is. Hello, my favorite porn star. Pot stirrer. Good evening. You see what it is as a pot stirrer? I've never seen that. Risen says, amen, Amy, I remember. What it is says, them being the mess. I don't know what that is. That's going on in America and in the world. Them being the mess that's going on in America and the world. I got you. Linda says, hi, Dakota. Hamburger helper hand. Risen says, is good to know you are well. Thank you. Dakota says, hi, friends. Again, heart. Amber says, that dog didn't have any bite in it. Go dogs. Richard says, no shit. Supposed to be fair and unbalanced. Remember Bill Barr in Trump's first term? Yeah, I remember that he was a Democrat appointee originally, and I remember him betraying Trump and getting fired for it. I do remember that. What's that got to do with anything? It's always supposed to be fair and unbalanced. It's never that way. But it's supposed to be nonpartisan, not independent. Those are different words. Independent means they don't work for either side, and that is not what the government does. So I'm guessing you're saying what you believe to be true, but you're using the wrong word to describe it. Makes sense. Risen says, it's not good for me to do politics. I just wanted to say hi and thankful you all are well. Glory to Jesus. Well, it is good for you to do politics because you live in a country that is ran by politics. So the more people that come to the conversation, the better off we'll all be. This is a no judgment space. All we're doing is arguing for the sake of argument because it brings forth ideas. And the people listening hear those ideas and make conclusions based on them. That's the point of discourse. It's not about who's right and wrong. It's about who's listening.
And some people will get butt hurt and run away.
That's true. You can't avoid that. But if you understand what I'm trying to do here and you're part of it and you're on board, then you understand that it isn't about me being right or you being right. It's about the conversation itself. And that's something we need more of in this country, not less of. And all glory to Jesus all the time. Amy says, note to viewers, comments are not read immediately. Please add context to them so that no miscommunications occur. Thanks. Thank you, Amy. Richard says, it's character, Amanda. What's character?
The Christy Gnome thing.
I've shot dogs before. I'm not crazy.
I shot a horse.
What's your point exactly? Richard says, Congress makes laws, presidents do not. What do you think the word executive orders mean? What do you think that means? What do you think veto means? What do you mean presidents don't make laws? Yes, they do. They don't make permanent laws. They make presidential laws that exist while they're president and into the future unless somebody changes it.
What's that thing called?
The constitutional laws cannot be changed by either party, which is why they spend so much time fighting over it, hoping they can change them to their benefit. They're not supposed to change. Constitutional laws are permanent. All the other laws are subject to the president.
What's that thing called? Oh, an executive order.
I said that.
He can do whatever he wants.
I said that. You live in a big bubble that was invented by the news, Monkey Juice. That is not how the world works. Amanda says,
oh, like you're totally innocent and have never done anything wrong. Right. Please.
no, but this works to make people hate Christy Nome. That's why I'm using it,
Yeah.
says Monkey Juice. Doesn't matter if I've done anything right or wrong. I'm using this to make her look bad. I've shot a dog before. Does that make me in the same boat? Do you look at me the same way because I shot a dog? Bring your dog over here and let him bite me and see what happens. I don't think you're prepared to live in that part of the world. The real part. Where people exist. Bill Bennett says our founding fathers would be trying a big reset to really most of them were ordained ministers. Yeah. What it is says, Monkey Juice, I suggest pause, pray, and proceed, or pause and pivot. I know we all have an opinion. Be open-minded. That's wise. I'm not trying to change your mind, though. I'm just trying to point out reality. You're welcome to think whatever you like. Amy says, right, Cookie? Did I miss one of Linda's?
I don't think so.
I don't see one. What do you mean, right, Cookie? I don't think she said anything. Linda, are you still with us?
Yeah, she hasn't said nothing in a minute.
It's a mystery. Amber says, Amy, have you spoken with BK lately? I don't know who that is. His health is a lot worse to my understanding. He fell again yesterday. Who's BK?
The people that they go watch all the time.
Oh. Amy says, right, Bill. And oh no, I'll check on him. Thanks, Gigi. Amber says, I put him in a prayer card. I put him a prayer card in the mail today. Hopefully he will get it. Hearts and prayers. And what it is says, he's got his pubs tied up in the panties. Yeah. Got his knickers in a twist. That's knickers with a K. Monkey Juice says, so, in your thinking, seeing how Trump appointed some Supreme Court appointments, they work for Trump. It's the same thinking. Yeah. That's how the Supreme Court works. They have a job to do, and that is to interpolate the Constitution. That's what the Supreme Court does. They argue over the validity of such and such. But the president appoints whether that person is Democrat or Republican, meaning that side is argued on that Supreme Court post, which means he works for the president. Yes. But the Supreme Court is a co-equal branch of the government. There are three: judicial, executive, and Congress. You understand? Yes, they work for the government. Yes, they work at the pleasure of the president. But they have a co-equal job to do, which means they have the same sway that the president has. So it's not as simple as saying he can order them to do a thing, because they can't order each other to do anything. The Supreme Court argues the validity of the Constitution. They interpret it for the president. So if he makes an argument based on the Constitution, it goes to the Supreme Court, and they either say, yes, that's what it says, or no, that's not what it says. And they make that decision based on how many Democrats and Republicans are in it. There are 9. Make sense? I don't think it does, but that's how it works, whether you like it or not. Amber says, also, why I went in the snow today. Amy says, I have a bunch of extra cards. We'll have to meet up one day. You're north of me now. Amy says, Amber. Amber says, Papa had to put 2 of his hunting dogs down after they bit somebody. Something about the taste of blood. I don't remember the entire reason he gave. Well, the basic point is, if a dog will bite you, they never learn how not to bite you. You can't get that out of them. They will bite again. A dog that bites, bites. You have to shoot them, because that's not a good dog. It's a bad dog. Bad dogs get shot. Amy says, exactly. Once a dog tastes blood, they can become mean. And Richard says, news to me, Amanda. News to you what?
About the people going from Minnesota to Florida, which I posted. I posted it down a little further. Does that cover the seats?
Well, not to be facetious, Monkey Juice, I suspect a lot of things would be news to you. I'm guessing you know very little. And what you don't know is over your head, so you don't even know it exists, which is even worse, because you think you know a lot, but you don't. Someone that actually does know a lot can see you. You know I can see you, right? Amber says, one of the neighbor's dogs bit me, and he demanded they take it to be put down or a lawsuit. So I'm aware of 3 being put down for biting a human. It happens more often than you think. Most people these days take them to the SPCA and they give them a shot and they go to sleep. But that's not the way adults handle it. A bullet's cheaper than that.
And based on recent data and analysis, there is a documented long-standing trend of residents moving from Minnesota and other upper Midwestern Frost Belt states to Florida. Because you don't pay attention to everything, monkey.
Yeah, that's right. Where you at?
10 o'clock.
All right. Monkey Juice says, 10 minutes ago, Jake, you thought I was making up Kristi Noem's dog killer. Now you know I didn't talk shit. No. 10 minutes ago, I said, where did you hear that? Is that some obscure reference from a book, or did you hear that on the news? I didn't think you were making it up. I asked you where you heard it. And then I found out it was some obscure reference in a book, which is exactly where you heard it. Probably from the news pointing it out, which means I was right. When I'm sarcastic, I usually already know the answer. So no, I didn't accuse you of talking shit. Again, you have a misguided understanding of what's happening around you, and you all think it has something to do with you. It doesn't. Fab Daddy says Marjorie Taylor Greene was on Real Time with Bill Maher last night. She describes how Congress is broken. That would be interesting to watch. I like Bill Maher. What? You listen to Democrats?
What?
If they're honest about who they are, yeah. Bill Maher's a moron, but he's honest about that. He knows he's a moron. He also sat and had lunch with Trump and said on his show it was a good lunch. We had fun. He's a very smart, very nice man, which is true. He could have taken the Democrat route and shit on Trump, but that's not what happened. See, that's why I like Bill Maher. He is an absolute moron, but he's honest about it. And I have misgivings about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's not really my kind of Republican, if you know what I'm saying. But she does have a propensity to be a firecracker, so that would be an interesting watch. Amy says Nugget feels like he gets piled on if he has a different opinion about Trump. I don't know how. I've never questioned him even once. I've never argued with Nugget even once.
Yeah, talking about what was Trump was talking about in the front line last week.
He has a different opinion.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people have different opinions. This is Politi-tics. The whole point is to argue your point. If we're not, me and Fab Daddy talk all week long. It's perfectly fine. Tonight we argue because that's what the night's about. If he can't get on that, I can't help him. But nobody has piled on Nugget. No. His grandfather was shot on WW2, and he's upset that Trump said something about other countries didn't have boots on the ground. I haven't heard that. But also, what does that got to do with me? I didn't shoot his grandpa. I didn't say what Trump said. Or didn't say. I don't know. Thank you, what it is, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate you. Without unity, there will be disunity. That's very true. Thank you. I appreciate that. Much needed. Maybe I'll make some money next month. I didn't make any this month. I didn't make that $100 bump.
But you don't tell the entire story. You pick and choose and make your point look better. That's not telling the truth, monkey.
Right. Well, I'm sorry he feels that way, Amy. You can tell him that I've never piled on him even once. I don't think I've ever disagreed with him even once.
And ain't nobody said nothing about all the stuff that he's been saying about Trump on Facebook either.
Right.
So
I never even brought that up. That's a different platform, and it ain't my show, and he hadn't done that here, so. He knows I'm a Republican. He knows I'm a Christian. I don't know what he was expecting. I'm also American, and he's British, so I have an American interest, and he has a British interest. I don't know what he was expecting. But I'm sorry he feels that way, and I hope that he gets over it. Because he is a nice guy. But if you're going to say things, you're going to get pushed back on. That's the whole point of the show. And what it is says, Holman said that the sooner people get out of the way and let ICE do their job, the sooner they will be out of there. And that's what the meeting was about. And for the mayor and the governor to do their job.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, no kings, right? Well, when have we had a king there, Nugget?
The only king I know of is God. Show me a king besides God. Can't do it.
Sorry, had to glue my teeth back in. Yeah, when have we had a king there? You're asking for something that doesn't exist. It's also kind of stupid. We don't have a king. That would be England. We have a president. He gets elected by the people. Trump was overwhelmingly elected by the people. He won the Electoral College. He won the popular vote. Every state in the Union trended Republican for the first time ever in that election. When the Democrats didn't cheat, he wins hands down. He's won 3 times. Hands down. That's not a king. That's a duly elected president. We don't have a king. Except in your mind. Amy says Jesus is King of Kings. Agreed. And he's not here right now.
Who's a king besides God?
Who divided this country? You did. And people just like you.
The Democrats.
Democrats. They divided this country. Go back and start listening to Obama talk. That's the first time we had any division whatsoever since the 60s. It was your side that divided the country, not our side. And I said a minute ago that I was a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative. There's a difference. Lady B says, hey, Jake, Amanda, popped in to say hi. I love you all. Thinking of you all and appreciate you. I know it's bedtime for most, hanging out until you all leave at 9:03 in Alabama. Well, thank you, Lady B. Most of us stay up till about 10 o'clock, though. And welcome. Who divided the country? Jesus Christ, man. Are you seriously asking that question? Who's doing all the mostly peaceful protesting? Can you point to one Republican protest? One? If you say January 6th, I'm going to reach across the screen and smack you on top of the head. The overthrow of the government where all the old people that showed up forgot to bring their guns? Yeah, smart. Amber says, Jake, you and I have lots in common with thinking out all the paths and using logic for actual reason. It's a different thought process than most. It's a gift and a curse. I agree 100%. But yes, that's what I do. I lay out the situation before me and I argue all the angles in my head and I make a decision based on the evidence. Whatever I bear out to be the truth, that's what I go with. Don't change my mind. I believe in what I believe.
The Republicans.
What about them?
Divided the country.
You mean the Democrats?
I mean, yeah, the Democrats.
If you ask anybody that with a solid brain, every person will tell you hands down the Democrats divided the country, even Democrats if they're being honest. Kevin says, monkey juice, Obama. That's where it started. Yeah, he's the guy that fanned the flames.
And then all their talking points and, oh, well, you can't say retarded and you can't say stupid and you can't say this and you can't say that and we got to call you they, them, and that and this, whatever.
How about that?
I'm going with none of that shit.
For a clown, expect a circus.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're not for hire.
Hamburger helper hand lady.
Lady B says, Amy, heart, are you feeling better? Kevin says, monkey, Democrats have been crying like little girls ever since Trump won his first term.
Right.
Yeah, like actual little girls, not the ones with blue hair and nose rings. And Lady B says, Amanda, hearts. Amy says, no, really, Lady B. Not really, Lady B, but I've slept most of the day. Amber says, in my thoughts, Obama tried dividing the country. Racial bait crap. I think it almost worked. United we stand, divided we fall. It almost did work. And we got very close to losing this country. And we're still hovering over that point right now. We hadn't got out of the woods yet, but we are winning. It is trending back to sanity. But we got very close to just losing the whole kit and caboodle. And yes, race baiting was Obama's trade, and he plied it liberally. No pun intended. And that is exactly what divided this country. Sorry. And Kevin says, hamburger helper hand, Lady B. Lady B says, you didn't get to a doctor. No. You don't go to the doctor for having the flu. Lady B says, Kevin, heart. Linda says, Lady B, hamburger upper hand. There you are. Tennessee Bubba says, I think JFK was the last great honorable Democrat. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Honorable. I didn't agree with a lot that he did, but it looked a lot more like what I think than the Democrats today. I would have been proud for JFK to be my president, Democrat and all. I can't say that about any of the other Democrats that have been after him, including Lyndon Baines Johnson, which I'm pretty sure had something to do with him dying. Or at the very least, capitalized on it the moment it happened.
Well, yeah, because he was sworn in right on Air Force One right after it happened with Kennedy's body on the plane.
And he made his wife stand there and accept it. How's that for gangster? I think she was in the car with him when he got shot. But he made sure she was standing right beside him on that plane when he was coronated or sworn in or whatever you call it. Amazing. Lady B says, Linda hearts. Amy says, I think it's still working, Amber. They planted the seed of division, and it's been multiplying ever since. I agree. No, we are winning. The culture war especially. And that's where you're going to win. Because politics is downstream of culture. Remember that. It's a very important fact. Politics is downstream of culture. The culture changes, politics changes. And we are winning the culture war currently. Hollywood has a lot to do with that. My distaste for movies and television and my hatred for new Star Trek and things like that is allegorious of them dropping the ball. And when they drop the ball, somebody's going to swoop in that power vacuum and take up the mantle, and they're going to start making movies the way we liked them back in the old days, and that's going to change society. Gen Z is more Republican than any other demographic or any other generation before them. They're more Christian conservative than anybody else, more than millennials, more than Gen X even. So that's a positive thought. But we're all talking about things that are going to manifest 10 years down the road. It's not going to happen now. Unfortunately, we're going to have to go through a lot of turmoil before we get back to sanity. So strap in. That's all I can tell you. Amber says, I don't see Lady B anymore. Like a couple of weeks now. Not sure why. Make sure you're on live chat and make sure you didn't block her. Make sure she didn't block you. Richard says, let me know how Melania's $73 movie premiere works out. I'm sure it's great. What's your point?
Are you jealous?
Why don't you go see it? It's a good movie, I'm sure.
It's an autobiography, but...
Amy says, check all chat, not top chat.
And Melania is probably the most classiest first lady we've ever had.
Absolutely. Definitely the most regal. And the most attractive.
She speaks 11 languages.
Right. And the most intelligent. What exactly is your point there, Monkey Juice? I hope she makes $1 billion off of that documentary.
And guess what? She's a legal immigrant.
Enunciate. She's a legal immigrant.
I did.
Illegal immigrant.
I didn't say illegal. I said she's a legal immigrant.
That's why I said enunciate. Not you're wrong. Amber says, Bubba, good evening. Richard says, first later sucks. What?
You're supposed to say first lady sucks.
First lady sucks? Well, you're a moron.
Right.
You're an absolute moron, and you're a disrespectful little git. She is very classy, and she's above reproach. Everything I've ever seen her do is on the mark. What about her sucks exactly? Would you prefer Dr. Jill Biden?
That ain't even a doctor.
Yeah, Kevin says, Monkey Juice, why do you care about a movie you have no intentions of seeing?
Right.
Good question. Is it just something else you can hate? Is that what it is? You are proving the point as to what's wrong with you every time you open your mouth. I don't know if you realize it or not, but you're not gaining any wins here at all. You're showing yourself to be completely inept and incapable of actual critical thinking skills. And everyone sees it. Note how no one is calling me wrong right now. Think about it. Maybe come a little bit towards the light. Debbie says, I really do not think it's Democrat versus Republican. It's more like Marxism versus freedom. You're not wrong. Democrat versus Republican went out in the Obama years. That's when Marxism snuck in. This ain't the first time, by the way. You go back to the 30s and 40s, you'll see it happening there, too. They've been trying for a long time to sneak in and take over. And I imagine they're going to keep trying unless we stomp them out of existence. Lady B says, you needed to rest today, Amy. Amy says, Amanda shot a horse? Apparently. First time hearing about it. Tennessee says, Amber, good evening. Amber says, during the Obama presidency, I got called racist all of the time. My children grew tired of me going to get them to make someone look them in the face and say,
my mama beats the brakes off my ass because of my amazing tan, not because she's teaching me standards, morals, and I'm here.
What are you saying, Amber? Do you have mixed children? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Amanda says,
hold on. Yeah, he got hit by a truck and was badly hurt, broken both front legs. It was a neighbor's horse.
And Lady B says, I made venison spaghetti tonight. It looks like she killed a horse, too.
A deer.
A deer. Oh, dear. Amy says, my internet is delayed. It happens. Mine is, too. I have a warning on the screen right now. Apparently, the snow is causing my internet to be slow. So it might be my internet that's delayed. It looks like I'm about 4 or 5 seconds behind right now. Amy says, Amber says, my mama beats the brakes off my ass because of my amazing tan, not because she's teaching me standards, morals, and I'm hers. I'm guessing you have mixed children, and that's why you were called racist. Unfortunately, yes, it was Obama that stirred all of that, because prior to that, the top 5 entertainers in the country were all black men, and we loved them, and that was all great. And we had a thing called wiggers back then. You remember those guys? We still have them. We just don't call them that anymore. And, yeah, it was a melting pot back then, right before the Obama years. I wish we could go back to that time where racism was a joke, and it was funny. But he definitely is the one that made it all serious again. Linda says, yep, she is talking about what I said about going back 25 years, right? Amy says, that part. And Lady B says, yeah, it sent me to another live. What the what? Yeah, don't do that. Stay here. Amber says, funniest shit ever watching someone turn white as me realizing they were being the racist, not me. Unfortunately. Yeah, there's a lot of that in the world. One thing I've said 1,000,000 times, and I'll say it again. When you get accused of something, if someone is accusing you of something, they're guilty of it. Believe that. People that accuse people are guilty of the thing they're accusing. That's why they're accusing it. More often than not. Amber says, smiley faces and dancing ladies. Lady B says, did it twice, sending me to another live. Well, stay here. Amy says, a chihuahua eating tacos. That's interesting. Get a Taco Bell. Lady B says, Amy, smiley face. Amanda says,
Triple had stuffed shells tonight.
She liked them too. What is the number of that comment?
1014.
Amy says, I saw the picture. Looks delicious, Amanda. Bill Bennett says, good night, Untethered fam. See you guys soon. God bless. Bill, good night and God bless you, brother. Amy says, good night, Bill. See you at Bible study.
Night, Bill.
Amber says, good night, Bill. And get some rest. See you tomorrow. Prayers and smiley faces. Amanda says, it was Amy and Jake loved them. It was Amy and Jake loved them. He'd never had them before. The Lady B says, the dog turned on my dad. Its mind went bad, and the dog was old, and I was told. Yeah. Yep, I had a dog that got bitten by a rabid animal and got rabies. And we shot him 27 times, and he was still trying to bite. I finally had to cut his head off to get him to stop. And then his jaw kept moving till sundown. And that rabies ain't nothing to play with. That's like zombie virus. Lady B says, sweet dreams, Bill. Amy says, off topic. Really? Catherine O'Hara died at 71. The mom from Home Alone. Wasn't she also in Beetlejuice?
Yes.
Amy says, and the guy who played Lamont on Sanford and Sons also died. Yep. Who's next? It comes in threes. Lady B says, I love Catherine O'Hara, Kevin. Kevin says, what? Lady B says, Amy, smiley, heart. And thank you for that $20 super chat, what it is. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you, what it is.
Lady B says, I still watch Sanford and Son. Really? I haven't seen it on TV in 25 years. I used to watch it when it was on TV. Noggin ass, says Trump 2028. Right on, nagging ass.
Vance 2028.
That's what it's going to be. Amy says he's grieving and tried working and going to school. Recently grieving people. We make things the wrong way and overreact. I give Nugget some grace because of his hardship. I give him plenty of grace, too. I'm not against the Nugget. I just wish he hadn't overreacted. I'm his friend. I always have been. I just hope he can see that. Amy says, if that makes any sense, it does. Monkey Juice says, thoughts on 48 Flex Tortoise Shield Picks.
Shells.
Tortoise shell picks. I don't know what you're talking about. 48 Flex. .48 Flex. I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
So you have to be more specific. Amy says seashells, macaroni shells, pasta shells, small shells.
Snail shells.
These were big ones. They look like sea burritos.
She's talking about Monkey's comment.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea. Amy says shell of a nut. What it is says, you can't outgive God, is what my wife would always say. Amen to that. Which is why I'm here, because it's a gift from God. I'm God's gift. Amy says, amen, what it is, and thank you. Monkey Juice says, LOL, Amy. What it is says, yep. The ballots being taken from Georgia under a warrant, and the people that are over the ballots being Democrats, they're worried.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ought to be worried because they're going to find evidence they cheated. It's a foregone conclusion. I know the Democrats don't want to admit it, but it's a foregone conclusion. They cheated in the 2020 election. No doubt about it. I saw it when it happened. I was watching when it happened. They absolutely cheated. Trump won that election fair and square. Even still, he left office on time and was not even late, and he peacefully transferred power over to Biden. So, I don't want to hear that either. No kings, though, right? Morons. Amy says, right?
Amy says, one right side protest versus the summer of love and what's going on now. Yeah, the J6 argument is hilarious.
Yeah. That's referring back to what I said earlier. Yeah. There is no right-wing protests. That just isn't a thing we do. Amy says the Democrats created both the KKK and Black Lives Matter. That's really divisive. Yeah, and they're both the same kind of organization, too. And playing both sides, yeah. And all about that money when you get right down to it. That's why the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement bought mansions with the money that they were collecting for black people, knowing that's not what people were giving them that money for. What was that?
Just me sighing.
What it is says, what about this warrant that was served in Georgia and the ballot locations to take secure of a ballot full of boxes with all voting ballots along with memory of the ballot machines? Yeah, what about that? Are you scared they're going to find out you guys cheated and you never really won the election? Any of them? If you did nothing wrong, you got nothing to hide, why not allow them to look? That's all I'm saying. Monkey Juice says, remember who won the Civil War? Yes, I do.
Yeah, the Republicans.
I hadn't forgot. Lots have changed since then, Monkey Juice. Lots of things have changed. Amber says, what it is, heart, heart. Debbie says, Richard, the Republicans did. Amber says, what it is, hearts and dancing girls. And Amy says, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Imagine that. Monkey says, the 13 colonies never lost a war. The South can't speak to that. No, we can't. What's your point? You want to try it again? I'd be willing to bet that this time around, they won't assume that everybody's fighting for what's fair, and they'll just fight to win, which would be a different story, just so you know. The first time around, we were trying to fight for what was fair, and all the while being accused of something we weren't guilty of. Which I'm sure you would tell if I asked you what the Civil War was about. What it is says, Trump said in the beginning of his second term that it is going to get worse before it gets better, meaning the financial and other things to be turned around for what was done by the past president. Right. And it has to, because we have to work through all of the damage to get it all fixed. We have to find all of the damage in order to fix it all and understand it and understand how they did it and then make it where they can't do it again. So, yeah, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Mr. P's here. He says, hey, gang, I hope y'all had a great day. I had to work tonight on another call, and every weekend it happens, of course, right? Well, I hope you're faring okay in this cold weather there, Mr. P. How you doing, buddy? Amanda says,
Mr. P. Hamburger Hubberhand.
Amber says, good evening, John. Welcome. Richard Duggan says the South doesn't have a place in America's new future. I'd like to see you make them leave. I would like for you to think about that for a minute, because there's something you hadn't realized yet. The South is where all of the stuff ports in at. The stuff that you eat comes from the Midwest. The stuff that you use comes from the South and from the little port in California. I'd like you to just think about that for a little while. Don't have a place in America's future, huh? I'd like for you to take note of how many presidents have been Southern. Go back and look. Amy says, it's going to take a lot to reverse the damage done by the previous administration. Agreed.
If we can ever.
If we can ever find it all. Yeah, because they were really, really after it. They were literally throwing money out the windows like they were in a sinking ship. Literally. In every direction. John says, people only get sick on the weekends, apparently. Seems that way, doesn't it? Amy says, hi, Mr. P. My son hates being on call. Amber says, I'm worried Lady B blocked me or I blocked her. Lady B, I miss seeing you. I keep checking all chat.
I might have to refresh. Sometimes that happens.
I've never had that issue. Monkey Juice. Melania not only speaks fluent English, but she speaks 10 other languages on top of English that aren't hers. Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
No.
She has a foreign accent. She is a legal immigrant. And she came to this country and learned this language and uses this language because she assimilated to this country and is the first lady of this country, which is as American as you can get.
Before she married Trump.
And by the way, that don't bother me at all. She's way smarter than you will ever be. She has a movie out right now. What do you have?
Not to mention her modeling career and everything else.
Also, she was a super hot model. Yeah. Super hot. Go look at the pictures. Amy says if she sucks, most normal straight men think that's a good thing. Monkey Juice saying Melania sucks.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
She keeps her husband happy.
Ooh. Mr. P says, yeah, Amy, it's not fun. A day off versus getting called in. I can see why he doesn't like it. Monkey Juice says, Melania, buy $1 million gold card.
She don't have to.
She don't have to. She's married to Trump, who is a gold card.
It doesn't matter. She was legal before Trump and her got married.
Yeah, she's legal. She doesn't have to do all that.
Oh my!
By the way, I think that was a great idea. I don't know why we're not doing that. That is a fantastic idea.
He is doing it.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah, great. That was whoever thought that up, Trump, was a genius in doing so. Because not only does it help with the deficit, but it gets the people that are actually interested in benefiting the country and becoming part of it to come. It's a great idea. It's a club. It's exclusive. It adds value to the people coming in. How do you not see that? Amanda?
Oh my God. She speaks 11 languages fluently. Come on. Who cares if she has an accent?
And yes, her voice does bother me a little bit. I'll get over it. She's smarter than me. Probably. Amber says, I think the monkey has gone bananas.
Right.
Immigrants are immigrants, right? Yes.
Yeah, there's illegal immigrants and legal immigrants.
Right.
There's a big difference.
I don't get what you're saying there. Do you think that we hate immigrants? Is that what you think?
We don't like illegal immigrants. There's a difference.
This whole country was founded on settlers, not immigrants, settlers that came from another country and made this their country. We don't have a problem with immigration. We have a problem with illegal border jumpers. It's not the same thing. These are criminals we're talking about. But she came here legally and then married Trump, which made her legal. And then she went and got her green card.
Yes, she's a permanent citizen.
The monkey says, good God. He is good. What is your point?
Right.
You capitalize God if you're going to invoke his name.
You skipped 2.
I did. Hang on.
10:33.
Amy says he totaled his car because of a call about a month ago, Mr. P. It was snowing and he hit a tree. Good gracious.
And she came here legally before she married Trump.
Right on. Amy says, God is good. And we finally agree, monkey. Make sure you capitalize his name, though. Show some respect. Mr. P says, been seeing a lot of negatives from the Republican side lately. I got to question some of the stuff they're trying to pull lately and who they're trying for. Well, I mean, if you're going to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs, I suppose. I don't agree with everything they're doing, but I never have. So ultimately, we got to run the country. So sometimes you're going to have to give a little and take a little, because there's two kinds of people in this world, and we got to work with them somehow. Amy says, smiley, smiley. And Amanda says,
good God, what, monkey?
Right. Amber says, my children are half Puerto Rican or Spanish. Okay. Cool. They're the good kind of brown. I'm just kidding. Richard says, so you're welcome in the country if you have $1 million bucks? LOL. Yeah. If you can afford the green card, you absolutely are welcome. That means you're a go-getter. And that means that when you come here, you're going to start something that will provide jobs for people, that you'll be a productive member of society. I think it's a great idea. By the way, it's not the only way to become an immigrant, but it is a way. You can still go to the border and go through the port of entry, and you can claim asylum, or you can apply for a green card. But if you want to skip all that, you can just buy the gold card.
Well, the gold card is mostly for business owners, right, where they can have a certain amount of immigrants up underneath their I don't know.
Like I said, it's an exclusive club.
Yes, but you can go and get a green card on your own. It takes a little longer, but you can get one.
Amy says, my kids are mixed. I have one girl and one boy, right? I got 3 kids, one of each.
No, she applied for citizenship and got it. What's the problem with that?
Right. And she waited the time, and she did the tests and jumped through the hoops and everything.
Right. And then when it come time, she renewed it again. And then when it come time, she renewed it again, and then she married Trump, so she didn't have to renew it again.
Don't you see the Trump stupidity? Yeah. I see that he's a billionaire. He became president twice. He attended West Point, top of his class. He's been a staple on television for 2 decades.
He's been shot at twice.
He's been in movies. He's been at the top of his game, everything he's ever achieved. He restored New York and rebuilt its property value. He was involved with getting the Giuliani elected, which caused New York to turn around from a seedy crime place to a tourist attraction. He's married to Melania Trump, the hottest girl on the planet in her age bracket. Yeah, he's real
shot at
stupid. He's been shot at twice and survived.
He owns a dozen or so golf clubs.
Yeah. His plane is better than Air Force One.
Right.
Yeah, he's real dumb. Don't I see his stupidity? Yeah, I don't see his stupidity, Monkey Juice. I see yours, though, leaking out. What exactly are you pointing at? Amy says other countries offer gold cards. It's now a new idea. Or it's not a new idea. Right on. Monkey Juice says, you're welcome if you're a millionaire. Yes, absolutely. You're welcome if you're not a millionaire. But you can go through the other port of entry. But if you're a millionaire, you can go through this port of entry. Do you not see that? It's not the only way to come in. It's just a way to bypass all of that and become a member.
And like I said, that's for people that own businesses, not just your regular everyday Joe.
Right. Like if Apple wants to come back to America, they could buy a gold card. I'm not saying, I'm just using that as an example of, obviously there's Americans here that can do that. But if some company like Apple wants to come to America, they can buy a gold card and set up shop.
And then they can hire illegals underneath them under their gold card.
Legals.
No, illegals. They can have so many illegals under their gold card.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And that,
so
that
it's
says,
like a license.
Yes, it says that this company, this particular person with this gold card is responsible for this many immigrants, illegals, and they're going to guarantee that nothing happens under their name.
See, I didn't even know that part.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool too.
That's for businesses. For like the farmers that want to keep the people on their farms or whatever.
Where are we at?
1036.
1036. Okay. Mr. P says, that's okay, Amy. God loves all kinds just the same. Linda says, nope, monkey. You are welcome in this country if you come in legally, like my parents had to, and preferably be a productive member of society. Right. But if you want to skip all that waiting in line business, you could buy a green card for $1 million or a gold card. You can do that. It's actually a great idea. And that money goes to the deficit, by the way, which is more money going towards the deficit than anything else we're doing. At least he's thinking about the deficit. What did your president do again for the deficit? Jack it up. Ridiculously high. Printing money. Lady B says, hey, Nugget.
You mean Kamala did that? Because Biden was stuck in the corner not knowing if he was coming or going.
Did Nugget come in?
No.
No, that's Mr. P, not Nugget. Amanda says,
if you apply for citizenship and come here legally, then we don't care. Keep up your visa.
Right. Amy says, we want immigrants that will bring jobs and great minds. Nothing wrong with that, monkey. Amber says, at one point, Taco Bell had the Chihuahua as a mascot. These days, I'm not sure they could or can. Yeah, it'd probably be called racist or cultural appropriation or something. Linda says, hi, Mr. P. Amber says, agreed, Linda. Mr. P says, Linda, heart. Amy says, John, Mr. P. Nugget is John H. John F. is Mr. P. Nugget is John H. Right. Monkey Juice says, did you see Nicki Minaj pay her golden Trump pass the other night? She was a border crossing illegal immigrant. Well, imagine that. Did she buy the gold card?
Yes,
and she's no longer an illegal immigrant.
And I have to make a correction. I said no. She's an American now, but she has been an American since she was a baby.
Ah, so she just did that to show support.
And she's kept up her citizenship.
Okay, so she's already American.
Yes, but
she bought the card to show support and to show how easy it was.
Yes.
Because surprisingly, Nicki Minaj is a smart lady.
And she supports Trump.
I said that.
She did
a smart
speech.
lady.
Yes, she did a speech about Trump and God.
Excellent. Didn't see that coming. Go Nicki Minaj. I'm guessing you have a problem with that? Care to share what that problem is? And Lady B says, thank you, Amy, for the correction. Prayers.
1039.
Yeah. Lady B says, Jake, I have wireless antenna. Me TV.
Right.
Cool. Richard Duggan says, she's an American now, Banhammer. She was in the Oval Office the other day writing her check. But she was American before. She did that in solidarity because it's a good idea. She wanted to help. So there's $1 million towards the deficit right there. You have a problem with that? Care to explain what it is? Lady B says, I watch Fantasy Island, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and Fantasy Island. You said that twice. And Love Boat, says Lady B. Congratulations. Amy says that makes her a legal immigrant. Yes.
I said, so what? She was probably donating to the ballroom.
Amy says she lived in this country working but wasn't a citizen, but she's doing it legally now. I think she was one of those babies that, I forget what you call them, dreamers. Is that it? Dreamers?
Well, her parents brought her over here as a baby.
Her parents were illegal. She was born here.
No, she wasn't born here. They brought her over as a very small child.
Okay.
And got her citizenship. I don't remember the whole story, but they got her citizenship. And I had her mixed up with somebody else when I said that she was born in the United States, but she wasn't. She was very young when she came here.
And Richard says, yep, $1 million will get you citizenship, Amy. By the way, where's that money? In the deficit. That's where that money goes, to the deficit. So you know. So, again, what's your problem with that? Lady B says, black motorcycles matter. They do. I have a black motorcycle. Richard says, no, Amanda. Yes, Richard.
Well, no, I said she was in America. She was born in the U.S., but she wasn't. I was wrong.
She's a dreamer. Amy says it's being processed and probably in the immigration system.
Right.
No, the $1 million for the black card or the gold card goes to the deficit. That's what the purpose of it is. That money don't go into Trump's pocket. It goes to the deficit of America, which is ridiculous that we'll never pay it down. But at least there's somebody paying on it, and that would be Trump. Did Biden pay on the deficit at all? Did Clinton? Did Obama? Good questions. I'm guessing you don't know the answer. I do. And the answer is no. So we've had one president pay on the deficit. Get it down a little. Amy says, LOL, Lady B. Mr. P says, the money trail behind all those initiatives like Antifa goes straight to China and Russia. They use our freedoms against us. I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm guessing the money that pays for Antifa is coming from the Soros Foundation. I don't know where he lives, though. Amy says she was born in Trinidad. Okay. Nicki Minaj?
Yes.
Right. Lady B says, Amy, smiley, smiley. Mr. P says, then people wonder why Trump is pushing back overseas, because he gets a better view of what Russia and China are trying to do or trying to pull. I wish he'd shared that with the ordinary Americans. That's why he's trying to get Greenland so hard, so he can be between China and Russia. And he knows that if he doesn't, they will. Somebody's going to get Greenland. And we'd rather it not be China or Russia. Because Greenland's in a bad way and they need money stat. I'd rather it come from us. Amanda says.
My bad. Nikki has been here almost all of her life.
Kevin says Nicki Minaj. Or Minaj. She later obtained legal permanent resident status, green card, reportedly holding it for roughly 2 decades by early 2026.
Yes.
So her buying that gold card was in solidarity. It was a support. She didn't have to. Lady B says it's 22 in Alabama. Really? It's 4 here.
3.
3. It's 3 here. And I gotta pee. So y'all listen to my song. I'll be right back.
And thanks, Kevin. I knew she was here legally, but wasn't sure of the time frame. I couldn't remember.
Hang on. Why I don't have sound?
I don't know. Just hurry up and go. There it is.
Moonlit skies and fireworks. People laugh, people flirt all night long. But I just stay. So I drove down to the local bar where people come in their fancy cars to play their games. But I just stay. Then I saw you sitting there, all alone in that empty chair right next to you. I fell in love Oh, baby. You looked down and you took my hand. You said, boy, I hope you understand that I'm not a girl that needs a man. I got my life and all my plans, and if you were there, you'd just be in my way. And girl, it ain't gotta be like this. I'd give you everything but just one kiss, and I don't care what you say. I fell in love with you anyway. Oh, Elizabeth, you take my breath away. At that bar where we first met, you smiled at me and my palms got wet, and you just looked away. But I just stayed. You said, been in love and it never works. I always end up getting hurt, and I ain't doing that no more. There ain't no way. Oh, no, 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 no. You stood up to say goodbye, grabbed your hand with a tear in my eye, and I just walked away. But you just stayed. But you looked down and you took my hand and said, boy, I hope you understand that I'm not a girl that needs a man. I got my life and all my plans, and if you were there, you'd just be in my way. Girl, it ain't gotta be like this. I'd give you everything but just one kiss, and I don't care what you say. I fell in love with you anyway. Oh, Elizabeth, you take my breath away. Alrighty then. I'm back. I had to go. Let's see if I fix that. Yeah, that's better. Better than the... Okay. Alright, where was I? Amy says, I must have read a biased Wikipedia page. It's not a trustworthy site. Thanks, Kevin. What I miss? Kevin. Nope. What it is says Walmart, being in the South, is this country's largest private employer with 1.6 million employees just in the United States, 2.1 million throughout the world. Amen. South does a lot for this world. If you don't have the South, you're in chaos. Kevin says, Muggy, as per your question, these gifts are then deposited into a separate fund in the Department of Treasury. Amen. And that is earmarked for the budget. of the deficit. Lady B says, whoever said something about the South can kiss my freckled ass. Come on, my southern porch, and you will wish you hadn't crossed the South. That's a promise. Right on. Amy says, I love legal immigrants. My grandfather immigrated from England in 1902. Nice. I'm pretty sure that my ancestors knew somebody in the woodshed. I don't think we came from anywhere but here. Lady B says, from born and bred, do not start no shit and there won't be no shit. Richard says, it's always a pleasure, Banhammer and Jake. Love the back and forth. Nothing ever personal. No, it's just talk, man. Don't mean nothing. Tonight is for arguing. Don't mean nothing. You're always welcome. Mr. P says, damn, I missed that, Amy. Sorry to hear that. Weather related. Amy says, I hate snow. Yep, Mr. P. Amber says, when I lived in Washington State, the Social Service Office gave me a green card for proof of state residency. Weirdest feeling ever. I kept the green card for proof of ignorance. Or I keep it for proof of ignorance. Amy says, LOL, Amber. And Amy says, 3 kids, 1 of each. A boy, a girl, and a doggy. Mr. P says, snow does suck. This new place is ridiculous for me. My upstairs neighbors think just because I'm downstairs, they have no responsibility for sidewalks or grass. Even the landlord said otherwise. Right on. Amber says, Amy, I never thought in a million years I'd ever need a green card. Being born citizen American, God bless America. Monkey says, where's my damn wrench? Well, you don't get it by demanding it. Lady B says, LOL, John. And Amy says, just shovel and mow your side, right?
Mr. P says, our houses are both responsible for our side and front door faces.
Sorry, I missed that one. And then it's jumped on me, so where are we at?
10:55, which is my comment. Okay. I threw it away, monkey.
55. Oh, here we go. Monkey says, LOL plus. Did you have if you had a wrench, it was under Monkey Juice, not Richard Duggins.
No, he didn't have a wrench.
Amy says the wrenches are on back order. Right. Mr. P says, I did that for a while, but because of the way the house sits sideways on the street, still makes my place look bad. Then the grass gets 3 foot high. Well, you either cut it or make them cut it.
Nope, I took it off the market. No more wrenches.
Debbie says, Monkey, Fab, and Richard. Monkey, Fab, and Richard, so you don't get them all, so you don't forget all the headlines. What about those 6 bankrupted companies? Let me answer. 6 failed over 500 successful. Do the math. Still an exceptional success. You must be talking about Trump.
Yeah.
Being an idiot. Yeah, he had very many successes. Anytime you swing, you risk missing. But if your batting average is above 50%, you're considered a good player. He's a good player. He's an excellent player.
And some of them he knew were going to fail before he ever opened them.
Right. There's all kinds of reasons to do a thing. It might be to place money around. It might be things that you don't understand about the market. There's all kinds of reasons to do a thing, not always because you want to be successful.
And Monkey is Richard, by the way.
I know.
Well, she said Monkey, Fab, and Richard.
Yeah, Monkey and Richard are the same. Lady B says Taco Bell has started selling hamburgers. Really? Is it made out of the same 4 ingredients that everything else is? Amy says Richard Duggins equals monkey juice.
Yeah.
Amber says Nikki also agrees her music is not appropriate for her children, and she got a shit ton of kickback for that. However, I agree with her on that. I do too. Just because she does a thing doesn't mean that she should expose her children to it. Mr. P says GlaxoSmithKline Pharmaceuticals and the others have been tasked by the government to get ahead of these new bugs somehow. I say let your body do what it was designed to do and catch the bug and defeat it, and you want to worry about it. Amy says, LOL, John, I'm not falling for that again. Right. Mr. P says, that's what I said too, Amy. But coming from my sister, Chrissy, it's got a new level of respect from myself. Now, she is absolutely brilliant. Been to the best schools in this country. Cool. You're the one whose sister works with vaccines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when she talks, I listen, as you should. Amy says, that's awesome, Mr. P. I'll stick to the old school remedies in my book, The Lost Ways. Amber says, bathroom break, time and coffee. Right. Be right back. I had to myself. Amy says, Amber, smiley face. Richard says, really? If she were here legally, why'd she pay the $1 million for solidarity? It's called support. It's called putting your money where your mouth is. It's believing in a thing. She put the money up because she's supporting his endeavor to do so. When you have a celebrity endorsement, it goes a little ways. So, that's why. King Colin says, hello, y'all. Is that Colin Hill the middle?
Yes.
I thought it might be. Hello, Colin. Monkey Juice says, common knowledge. She came illegally, her own words. Ooh. Are you still talking about Melania? That's not true.
I think he might be talking about Nikki, but she was a baby.
She was a baby. Colin says, I got bad news. Oh, no. I'm riveted. What's up? Mr. P says, her research group is working on a new thing that can be cooled and that targets cancer and even superbugs directly. Nice. Sooner or later, most cancers will be a thing of the past, provided we live long enough. Now, I've been hearing that for a while. The truth of the matter is there's a lot of money in treating cancer. I don't know that they're in that big a hurry to solve it. But they could. They could be putting a lot of money into it. Maybe Trump will get that in order. Amanda says,
to show her support and solidarity to the USA.
Colin says, hey, Amanda.
Hamburger helper hand, Colin.
Kevin says, Monkey, she held a green card for 2 decades. Colin says, again, I got bad news. I heard you the first time. What is it?
Oh, no. What, Colin?
Debbie says, oh, no. You beat her. I'm proud of you. Good job. Monkey Juice says, if she wasn't famous, she'd be just another illegal. Let's be real. Her music sucks. So we're not talking about her music. Don't care about her music. And you're right. If she wasn't famous, she'd just be an unfamous person that's illegal. You're right.
No, that's legal.
She is famous.
And she's legal.
So there's that. Amanda says,
oh, no.
You missed it. Amy says, Mr. P sounds like the project my daughter prepared DNA samples for in her lab. Colin says, I'm suffering from a condition called epididymitis. I don't think that's what it's called.
It's not spelled right, though.
Amanda says,
right, Kevin, which means she kept up her green card all of her life.
and Colin says, look it up. No. Why would I look up something I don't care about? You brought it up. You look it up. If you're going to tell us about it, tell us the definition of it. Bad news shouldn't come with homework. Where's Jake? Right here. I had to pee. Debbie says, oh, no. I beat Amanda this time. Woohoo. You go, girl. Amy says, welcome, Colin. And no thanks, but I hope you feel better soon. Jake had to pee. That's where I was.
I want to know how they discovered that he had that. Because
what?
Colin's only like 14 years old.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to do with taking the sperm through his testicles. So what were you doing to discover you had a problem there, son?
Yeah, right. Mr. P says, ask her if she works with stuff directed by GlaxoSmithKline's Maria Ritchie. And John says, it's possible. It is possible.
Oh, that sucks, Colin. I hope they get it fixed. How did you find that out?
I was actually scared that it was testicular torsion, says Colin. Well, if you beat on it hard enough, you can twist them around.
You can break it, too. LOL, you cheated, Debbie.
Yeah, Richard Duckett says, Melania pays her $1 million. No, she didn't. She doesn't have to. She's already a citizen, and she's the first lady. So she doesn't, just like Amanda doesn't get the gold star because she works here, Melania doesn't get the gold card because she works here. Really?
What difference does it make?
Why are you so worried about what other people do with their money, by the way? Are you jealous? Amanda?
What are you talking about, monkey?
Colin says, I went to the ER and sat there for like 3 or 4 hours, as you do when you go to the ER. It is not a fast place. Waiting on the results from the CAT scan and the urine test. You got a CAT scan and a urine test? One of those is easy to find out. I'm in pain, though. Well, that sucks,
Well,
buddy.
put some ice on it and keep your legs open.
Yeah, and quit beating on that thing. It didn't do anything to you.
You keep doing that, you'll go blind.
Yeah. Amber says, Colin, smiley face with herpes, no pun intended, and prayers. John says there might be another shutdown. Yeah, they're talking about it being a partial shutdown or something. Something's coming, but we're not exactly sure how bad it's going to be yet.
Yeah, it's just going to be a partial one, though.
But just like the last shutdown, nobody will care. Life will go on, and we won't even notice.
Except for the people that are getting thousands of dollars a month in free EBT.
Yeah, that
don't need it. Driving a brand new car and getting food stamps and $1,500 a month in cash on top of it.
Right. Colin says, what do you mean, John? What do you mean?
Government shutdown.
The government's going to shut down. It did already a couple months ago. John says, government shut down. Colin says, y'all ever ate a moon pie? They're so good. Yeah.
You shouldn't be eating sweets when you got nut problems.
Why?
Because it's not good for you.
Who said?
Everybody.
Nobody said that.
Whatever. It's like you shouldn't drink Mountain Dew if you want to have a high sperm count.
That's never affected me. You get close to me, you'll get pregnant.
Okay. It affected you for many, many, many years.
It never has.
Okay.
If you use my toothbrush, you'll get pregnant.
Well, I sleep next to you and I'm not pregnant, so... And I sleep with you and I'm not pregnant, so...
That's because it's always on your face.
Okay.
Can't get pregnant from that hole.
I see how this works.
Amber says, Colin, may I add you to my prayer chain list? Colin says, yes, ya ma, Amber. And then my chat jumped.
11:14.
I really hate it when it does that.
Mr. P says, good luck with that, Colin.
Right.
Colin says, it's an infection of the tissues around the testicles, John.
Yeah, we know.
Colin says, just antibiotics, no surgery.
Oh, that's good.
11:16, Kevin.
Again, quit beating on that thing. It didn't do anything to you. Kevin says, serious question. Is Monkey Juice a woman? All of Monkey's comments sound like they're coming from an emotional woman. I don't think so. I mean, he might have blue hair. I don't know. Monkey Juice, are you a woman? What is a woman exactly, Kevin?
No, that's the question for Monkey. Monkey, what is a woman?
Amanda says, Colin used to be Colin. He is Colin. Still Colin.
Amy said Colin used to be Colin.
What did I say?
Amy. Amanda.
Y'all are the same thing.
I said yes, Amy.
Amy says, LOL, Kevin. Amber says, when playing softball, even if I struck out the coaches were happy. Even if I struck out the coaches were happy. I moved my runners and my out was on purpose. I don't know what any of that means.
Talking about softball.
Yeah, I got that part.
Should people on bases, she moved her runners.
Gotcha.
And got people out on purpose.
What's that got to do with the price of tea in China? Lady B says, I don't know. I don't eat Taco Bell. Me neither. Weren't you the one that said they started selling burgers?
I don't remember who said that.
I don't either. Amber says, sometimes you take the hit for the greater of all. Right. I think Trump does that often. I see what you're saying now. Just put more on his name. He's not worried. And you're right. There's all kinds of reasons to do a thing and not always the goal you think they have in mind. Like he might start a business for it to fail because it might draw from another thing. It might cause a condition where he can be successful in another area. Things like that. He is a 4D chess player. He's playing on levels that we don't even think about most of the time. So, yeah, he's probably doing that. That would be my guess. Amy says, hi, Colin. Debbie says, lady, I would sell Kevin for a crunch wrap from Taco Bell.
Yum.
Damn, Kevin. I don't know if I'd be happy about that. John says, she's no dummy. Yes, she worked on the good version of the vaccine and not the Johnson & Johnson one that went haywire, and they shipped out different weaknesses of the bug in those vaccines. Right. Amanda says,
Crunchwrap is delicious. About all I will eat from Taco Bell.
Lady B says, you don't value Kevin more than that? I'm in. Amber says, LOL, Kevin, don't put all that on females, although throwing a banana to a monkey might help.
Throwing a banana peel so the monkey can slip on it might help.
He didn't say all females. He said emotional females. I believe the term was women. Women. Lady B says, smiley, smiley. Debbie says, I use Kevin for his money, and he is okay with that, LML. What? Share.
You get cream all over your face too, Debbie?
Mr. P says, just make the targeted version of cancer treatment so unaffordable that you'll have to be a millionaire to get it. Right. I hear you there. Amber says, Debbie, dancing girls and smiley faces. Lady B says, Taco Bell equals backdoor trots. Amanda, you and I both can make Mexican dishes better than that mess.
Right? You should see the stuffed shells I made tonight, lady.
Lady B says, which scrotum is swollen or is both swollen?
Oh.
I didn't know there was a pair of scrotums. I think it's a scrotum, the whole sack.
Yeah. I think they're just encased in one.
Colin is switching his accounts on us. Now it's Colin Anthony 2010. It started hurting. Yeah. Amy says, now I have to look it up. Colin says, randomly. Lady B says, blood work STD related, antibiotics. I just read about it. So you have an STD? How did you get that, Colin? The balls get twisted. Sounds painful, says Mr. P. And I wasn't beating it. Well, apparently you had to sleep with somebody else to get that disease. So how did you get it? Amy says, that's just nuts. Right? Mr. P says, it's nutty for sure. Lady B says, Amy, smiley, smiley. John, smiley, smiley. Amy says, corkscrews, pecker kind of thing. Yep. Corkscrew, pecker kind of thing. That's right.
Yeah, it's caused by chlamydia and gonorrhea or severe constant UTIs.
Colin?
Yeah, Colin, what are you doing?
Are you being molested, my friend?
Are you doing bad things?
Are you hitting up the town whore? The hua? You got a lady named Poke Salad Annie in your town? That's Poke Salad. Amy says, LOL, Lady B. Lady B says, I admire you. That takes balls to wait that long in the ER. Nice. LOL, Amy. Or smiley, smiley, Amy. Says Lady B. And then my chat jumped again. I found it, though. No, I didn't.
11:24.
I hate this thing.
Because everybody's talking so fast.
Ah, here we go. It says, who's everybody? I still drink Mountain Dew. What? Amber says, Colin, I'm sorry. I have blood cancer. I'll keep you close in prayers. Mr. P says, one area I don't mess around with, one-eyed Willie. Only the Lord and my family and more important than Willie. Most of my family anyway. Right? Lady B says, Jake Johnson. That's me.
She's laughing about your face cream.
Oh, the face cream. I see. And Amy says, make sure you wash your hands. Why? It's on her face. Oh, somebody else. Sorry.
LOL, lady.
Debbie says, lady, protein face cream is always the best bet.
Yeah, see, that's why my hair's so good. Gets its daily dose of protein.
In that case, I'm liberal. I apply liberally. I always let it go and go, Black Lives Matter.
As the white cream goes everywhere. Wow.
And Colin says, LOL, Lady B. And Lady B says, Amanda, smiley, smiley. Colin says, women scare me. They should, son. They should. They're scary. But apparently they don't scare you that much. You got an STD.
One of the two worst ones.
Somebody done put something on your Ajax, won't wash off. Mr. P says they used to spunk as face masks. They used spunk as face masks in different countries around the world for thousands of years. Really?
Yes, they use whale semen and makeup and stuff too.
Oh, yeah. That's what animal protein is. It's in your shampoo.
Yeah, they use all that, and most of it's semen.
To that I say,
Some of it's foreskin.
yeah. What it is sounds like Colin has colitis
Cellulitis.
of the nutsack.
Cellulitis. And we're supposed to, Colin. We're supposed to scare you.
Yeah.
That's our job.
That's keeping you honest. Mr. P says, I think that's why it's such a compliment to women. Lady B says, Debbie, smiley, smiley. Jake, that just come out wrong. No, it came out right. Colin says, oh. You get an education here, buddy. Amy says, we make fun of male parts because we don't have them, Colin. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Don't take it personally. Lady B says, a commercial, Jake Taco Bell commercial. Psst, yo quiero Taco Bell. Colin says, I know, Amanda. Lady B says, Colin. Colin says, knit. Amanda, I meant Amy. When did you become Russian? Richard says, stuck it up, Colin. Don't be a girl. Hello?
Huh?
Yeah, hang on a second.
Right?
Monkey Juice is for you. It's the pot calling. You're black. Colin says, I just know how to joke around with adults. Says the guy with an STD. Amy says, it's hilarious that a movie about the First Lady triggers the left. They're the ones who made every movie lately woke.
All right.
Lady B says, Colin, be sure to finish the entire bottle of antibiotics. Do a cleansing. Have a ball with it. Yeah. Don't forget to wash your hands. Amber says, Colin, no worries. You're welcome here. I didn't realize you were so young. We kind of ease up around Hannah. I will try to do the same around you.
Oh, no, he's different.
He's different. Lady B says, Jake, you have a left and a right ball in a scrotum sack. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know I don't just have one big one?
I mean, that depends.
How do you know they don't switch sides?
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Colin says, I'm not sexually active. Just not yet. Somehow you got an STD. Explain that one. Amber says, may I please have your age, Colin? Well, last time he said it was about 14. Monkey Juice says, Colin likes the strip joints. Sounds like. He got it somewhere. Are you sure that you didn't have any abductions or anything? You wake up, feel like you're floating? Anybody standing at the edge of your bed?
You wake up and your pants were wet?
Did you wake up and your pants were around your ankles? Chat jump.
11:33.
John says, I'm going to start saying some things to Jake just to hear him say them. That happens. Amanda says,
Colin is 14.
Colin says 15 and turning 16 in July. It's been a year.
Oh, my bad. 15.
Amber says, John, say fabulous. Jake is funny when he says it. LOL. Fabulous. Debbie says, Colin, when my son was a teenager, he got a bad cold and all the coughing caused it. So the doc said, and I am not kidding when I say his nut was the size of a cantaloupe. Jesus.
My brother had that issue, but his nut was like the size of a watermelon. He could only wear certain pants, and it was crazy. I don't remember what they said it was.
I would like to see that. Size of a watermelon? Really?
Yeah, I got a picture. There's a picture of him standing down at the deck at Daddy's back porch, and you can see it looks
I
like.
reckon so. If it's the size of a watermelon, it's sticking out that far.
It looked like he had a third leg down there.
That's crazy.
He would have to like grab the front of his shorts and pull them forward just to sit down.
When I was a child, when I was 6 months old, I had a double hernia. That means the stomach lining tore and all my intestines fell down into my testicles. So for a little while, I was hung like a bear. I asked why they didn't get pictures. Amanda says,
LOL, Mr. P. I do that all the time.
what?
Say things just to make you repeat it or to make a funny comment about it.
And that is what I do. Colin says, Monkey Juice says, good luck with that, Colin. John says, smiley, smiley. Colin says, I think it was a UTI, probably. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. And John says, smiley, smiley. Amy says, ha ha. Lady B says, Jake, I can't breathe. Well, slow down and take shorter strokes. Amber says, thank you, Colin. I'm going to be mindful of that. 15. Smiley faces and prayers with herpes. Monkey Juice says, STDs are 14. WTF? At 14? No, it's probably a UTI. STD is just one way you can get it. There's other ways. Lady B says, I can't hear that, Jake Lamau. I can't. You hear that. I don't hear anything. Debbie says, that face cream is only sticky till it dries. Right? Then it's crusty.
Right.
Monkey Juice says, crazy life coming up. Let's go. Mr. P says, Colin, just remember, they're more afraid of you than you are of them.
That depends.
That's not true.
I have met some sissified men that I would slap just out of them just because I could.
Yep. It takes a while to build that rough exterior where you look at women like a piece of meat. And that's really what they want. Whale vomit is used in high-end perfumes, says Amy. Sometimes. There's a movie called Perfume. You should look at it. That'll give you a good example of what perfume is made out of. Linda says, hi, John. Not. Amber says, my son had eczema horribly 6 months till currently. Lots was different. Yeast infections and such. Wow. I didn't know eczema could cause a yeast infection.
Yeah.
John says, unless you have young male pattern baldness, that sucks. Lady B says, Colin, knock 3 times on the pipe. Lady B says, period.
Knocking 3 times on the pipe, wouldn't that be like tapping it on your forehead a couple times?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Monkey Juice says, someone buy Colin some lifetime of rubbers ASAP. And Mr. P says, Linda, smiley, smiley.
And Colin's still in school. He can get condoms for free from them.
Right? And if he goes to the bathroom, he can get tampons.
Yeah.
Amy says, Uniball.
Jake and his uni ball.
Well, I'm not saying it's one ball, but it's pretty big.
He has to hold them up when he sits down to go to the bathroom so they don't fall in the toilet.
I've got big balls. There, I said it. Linda says, John, Debbie is kind of scary. Just ask Kevin. Lady B says, be glad they don't have to get a hammer after you, Lamau. Yeah, that'd suck. John says, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky, what do you think of condominiums? And Rocky whispers, I never use them.
Hi.
Yep, that was a good movie. Amy says, LOL, Linda. Lady B says, Debbie. Monkey smiley. Monkey Juice says, baking soda does wonders, Colin. If you put a little vinegar in there, too, it'll make a little volcano. And Lady B says, Jake rolls. Lema foul. Yeah, they do. If you're still talking about my balls, they roll.
I'm not saying a word.
John says elephantitis.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was elephantitis. I think it was something else.
Elephantitis is the elephant man. Big tumors all over you. Patty says, look at what Lady Bird's father did for a living. Who's Lady Bird? Debbie says, Linda, Kevin is always telling me to keep it up. A girl has to do what a girl has to do.
Right.
Colin says, you can say, Hannah, brother, and some big balls.
Anyway.
You can say Hannah, brother, had some big balls. Who's Hannah, brother? Amber says, money, not the baking soda and beans. Oh, Lord. I think you meant monkey. Monkey, not the baking soda and beans. And Lady B says, I was playing with my Barbie dolls at that age.
I had a real Barbie doll at that age.
I was too, but they were, real.
I had a real life Barbie doll at that age.
What?
When I was 15, I had a real life Barbie doll at that age.
Who was that?
You?
I'm not a Barbie doll.
Oh, you were my Barbie doll then.
I was a Ken doll.
You were still a Barbie. Anyway.
What are you trying to say?
That
I had incredibly long legs and big breasts and stood really tall?
What is Ken?
Ken?
Yeah.
Is a doll.
A Barbie doll.
No, he's a Ken doll.
He's a Barbie doll. He's
a
part of
Ken
the
doll.
Barbie doll collection.
He is, but he's a Ken doll. The box says Ken on it.
Ken Barbie.
Mm-mm.
Do I have to pull up a picture?
Uh-huh. And John says, I didn't know dudes got UTIs. I never got one. You probably had them and didn't even know you had them. Probably. And yes, dudes can get UTIs. They just, sometimes it's hard to pee. Sometimes it burns when you pee. Sometimes you don't notice it. Amber says, monkey, not money. Good grief.
Ken Carson, Barbie doll.
Ken Carson, doll.
Barbie.
Amanda says, I think it was something else, Mr. P.
Yeah, I think it was something else, Mr. P.
What was?
Talking about the elephantitis.
Oh, yeah. Lady B says, sticky buns. Well, if you do it right, yeah. Linda says, my son had a hernia where his intestines fell into his scrotum and his brothers started calling him Nerf nuts. I was 6 months old when that happened. My stomach lining tore, I guess because I was coughing or something. I don't know. I don't remember. I remember the surgery, though, but I don't remember what caused it. John says, smiley face, Linda. And Lady B says, Linda, Nerf nuts. Amber says, oh my gosh, Linda, smiley faces. And Debbie says, lady, Kevin pays extra for sticky buns, as he should. Amy says, LOL, Linda. Lady B says, Nerf. Colin says, John, I'm not bald like you. Lady B says, I bet, Debbie. Amy says, honey bunches of oats with nut clusters. That's just dirty. Sorry, my chat jumped again.
11:45.
John says, I got a full head of hair. Lady B says, are you and Kevin dating? And John says, LOL. John says, my half-brother Tommy was bald at 20. Thank God I don't got that half, right? And Debbie says, no, Lady B, we live across the country from each other, but we have been friends for a long time. Lady B says, where's John? Right there. And Lady B says, love it, Debbie. John says, in Greek, we're hairy all over. And John says, I'm right here. Or I'm Greek. Sorry, I'm Greek. Kevin says, Lady B, Debbie is my personal nutcracker. Lovely. Amber says, my son is also allergic to latex, so be careful, Colin. Hopefully you won't have a lifelong awareness of the medical issues. Yeah, that would suck. Lady B says, I bet, John. And Amanda says, I want ice cream for some crazy reason. Thinking about that Ken doll.
No.
No.
The Ken Barbie?
Lady B says, Kevin Lamau, phone sex. Hey, whatever gets you going. Lady B says, Amanda, smiley, smiley.
I've had hours and hours of phone sex.
Black and white and ice cream matters. Black and white ice cream matters. Debbie says, lady, we have phone sex. He tells me to F off, and I tell him the same.
Right.
Lady B says, Debbie, I can't breathe. I told you, take it out and take shorter strokes. Take a break. Slow down. You can only go around the bunny so many times. Lady B says, Jake is a Barbie doll. Lamau, not a Ken doll. That's what I'm saying. I don't think she meant the insult that she threw, but she got it. Jake has a dirty bush. Hey, how do you know? I might be clean shaven. You never know. It's all up here. Trans Ken doll, says John. Lady B says, untethered Barbie Lefau. John Lemvow. John says, the left would be buying up limited edition trans dolls. You know it.
Right.
I know, right? It's actually a pretty smart business thought. We should go into business making trans Barbie dolls. We'd make a mint. And we should we should make the gay rainbow flag camouflage. There's a missed opportunity. And Lady B says chocolate ice cream, rather. I mean, if you like that sort of thing. Patty says, good night, Bill. Wow. Lady B says, John, the woke something. Then my chat jumped. Oh, the woke
would too.
Would too. And Debbie says, lady, is that with salty nuts too? Yeah. Lady B says, Debbie Lefmau. Lumvow. John says, I'm only trim.
I only trim.
Or I only trim. It says I'm.
I know, but it was a typo.
Okay.
Look underneath it.
If I went full bald anywhere, the rest of me would look goofy as F. Well, Colin says, Jake, you should become a beggar. You'd make more money and you fit the look. Well, that was harsh.
He didn't mean it like that.
Wow. Well, how about this? Pretty please with sugar on top. Could you give me a little cash? You can do that at paypal.com/JakeJohnsonBand or paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. CashApp $JakeJohnsonBand. I don't know what I would do if you don't help out a poor white man in a snow-capped arena. I need all the help I can get. Please, 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 please donate so I can pay my light bill. Is that better?
And buy a new truck.
and buy a new truck. That was harsh, man. Hurt my feelings with that one. You're not wrong, though. Patty says, thank you for the company tonight. It's a TKO for me. See y'all tomorrow. Patty, God bless you, sweet lady. I love you.
Night, Patty. I said it further down, but night, Patty.
Amanda says,
Colin, are you saying Jake looks like a bum?
I think he did. And he just said I wasn't worth a shit and I'd be better off being a beggar. Damn. Colin says, just pulling his leg. Well, you didn't have to pull it off. It's all right. I can take a joke. I'm just teasing you. John says, yeah, I thought that was mean, Amanda. I might cry for Jake. Like that stoic Indian with the one tear, who was an Italian guy. Amanda says,
okay.
Colin says, I'm saying he should shave. I do shave every day. What are you talking about?
Not every day.
I have a mustache and a 5 o'clock shadow. It makes me look smart.
No.
Amy says, we went from Melania sucks to Colin's nuts. Interesting night. Love y'all. See you at Bible study tomorrow.
Right.
Well, I love you too, Amy. Thank you for being here, honey. John says, beards are in bud.
Beards are in, bud.
That's right.
Hello, Amy. Night.
Lady B says, no, Jake. I like vanilla. Hey, whatever floats your boat. I like vanilla too. Richard Duncan says, good night, Amy. John says, good night, Amy. Amanda says,
night, Patty.
Amy says, interchangeable parts, Barbie dolls, like a potato head. And Amy says, good night, everyone. Amanda says,
vanilla bean ice cream, yummy.
yeah, flick that bean. John says, I didn't even see Patty till I clicked all. Weird. Colin says, good night, y'all. Colin, thank you for being here. And that's the bottom of the chat. John says, nice wind down after a stressful night, freezing my non-torsional balls off. Amanda.
Nighters all. See you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Untethered Live for Bible study. Much love, y'all, and stay warm.
Debbie says, I can be bought for a praline pecan ice cream. Right on. I can be bought for much less. Amber says, hugs, y'all. See you tomorrow at Bible study.
Are you saying use a cheap hoe?
Yes. And Linda says, good night, all. Thank you all. Thank you for coming and being politically with me tonight. We're going to political ourselves to death over here on this channel. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow night for Bible study. It's been a wonderful evening. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you to the protesters, the arguments. Thank you for that. Thank you for your insight and your dedication to your belief systems. And we're going to change the world, you and I. One mind at a time. Have a great night. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Good night, y'all.